You know, there's been many games based on the angry video game nerd, which is me. Yeah, all these years while I've been busy playing shitty games, people have been making games about myself. There's been so many games about me, I can't even keep up. Unlike the majority of games I ripped apart, these ones were made by independent game developers, usually single-handedly, all by themselves, and hopefully they will have growing careers and aspire to make better games than a whole company of laughing, joking numbnuts ever could. Another thing that makes these games different from the games I usually play is that I have to play them on a computer. Well, anyway, the first AVGN game we're going to look at is The Angry Video Game by Eric Ruth. This was the first AVGN game that ever came to my attention back in 2008. You might be wondering what took me so long to get around to it. Well, the answer is simple. That's how long it took to load it on my Commodore 64.
Who the hell thought to make a game of me? What were they thinking?
That wasn't me talking. That was the game. My voice is in this game.
Stage 1, Rock and Roll City. Ready? I sure am. Here we go.
That's me, throwing beer bottles. I have to admit, I've done that before, but if I had that many beers, I wouldn't throw them, I'd drink them. Then again, I've never been on a rooftop getting attacked by scrotum cannons, blimps dropping bombs, and what the fuck is that? When would you ever see me jumping across a rooftop? Who do I think I am, Jackie Chan?
Oh my god, there's fucking missiles falling down. Man, when the hell does this ever happen in my life? This never happened.
Exactly, just like I said in the game. I don't even need to talk, just listen.
Cannons and zeppelins and fish. What was that thing? What was that? I'm dead. What the hell was that?
My sentiments exactly.
Fuck, I'm dead as shit.
The stage boss is a helicopter guitar. And I wish I didn't already call the cannons scrotum cannons, because now the game is just mocking me. Have you ever seen the AVGN episode where a giant helicopter guitar comes flying in and pisses all over me?
I'm dead. Fuck.
Is that going to be my epitaph? Fuck? The second stage, I'm in the water where every random thing is trying to kill me, like a submarine shark. And I can't beat the shark. I just can't. It may look like I'm sucking ass at it, but what do you expect? I'm playing on a keyboard. And the controls are the complete opposite of what's on a regular controller. Jump attack is on the left, and moving is on the right. So I have to switch my hands around and get carpal tunnel. The weapon is the worst thing of all. The beers fly in an arc, so you have to get in the right spot to calculate the trajectory. And everything blocks your aim. Fuck, I can't hit this fucking fish! Fuck! Ah! These beers are like The Rock in Friday the 13th, and I already told you how bad that is. Oh no. Is that why the game was designed this way? All the random enemies and all those things? It's because those are the kind of things I complained about. This game is all my fault. Ugh. Time for another AVGN game. Let's try Pixel Land Blast by Kevin Berryman. This one came out the same year, back in 2008. Well, it looks like a bunch of shitty NES games have invaded the fantasy world of a familiar good game that we all know. So I'm flying around like Superman, blasting every copy of these games in existence. This game is my ultimate fantasy. Fucking games, blast you all to hell! Die! Yeah! Needless to say, it's a 2D shooter. All you do is shoot the games, and shoot the games. There's not much else to say. You even get to take down the Power Glove, or Power Gauntlet, and the Virtual Boy. Even Shit Pickle makes an appearance. The first game was designed to make me angry, but this one is a lot easier, so maybe it's more like therapy. Maybe now I'm calmed down enough to play another AVGN game. Oh shit! This is AVGN KO Boxing by Devin Cook. It's made in the style of an Atari 2600 game, very faithfully. It's as if you took Punch-Out and put it into an Atari game. You control this anonymous invisible guy, not the nerd. So, if you ever wanted to punch me in the face, there you go. Take that, nerd! Me. Next opponent is Shit Pickle. How does Shit Pickle keep coming into my life? Next up is Jason Voorhees. Man, is he hard. Oh, fuck! I can't beat him. Quite honestly, it's a fun game. It's definitely better than any of the boxing games on Atari. Next up is AVGN Planet by Davey. The plot of the game is that all of my enemies, such as Bugs Bunny, Freddy, and Jason, have been sent to a planet, and now I'm going there to fight them once again. Is it just me, or does that not make sense? It doesn't. The game is in the style of Metroid, with me running around through caverns and collecting power-ups. It also uses the same kind of puzzle solving where you have to find out how to open a door, and it's a good effort. The controls use the keyboard to move and the mouse to aim, so I guess you could say it's very PC. Here's that bunny bastard. Come on, die already. Die already! Oh my god! Die! Just fucking die! Who would have thought he'd be the strongest boss in video game history? Yeah! Finally! And I'm rewarded with beer. The second boss, I think, is Jason Voorhees. And if you thought Bugs Bunny was tough, look at this. Just look at this! I'll try the missiles. There goes my missiles. I can't kill this guy. After all, he is Jason Voorhees. Come on, Jason. He won't even kill me. He's taunting me. He wants me to die slow. Well, fuck him. If you can get past this force field, you can transport to the next stage. Again, good effort, but one thing, I couldn't figure out how to quit the game, and killing yourself takes a long time. Next is AVGN Game Over by Dreamin Games. The intro is really cool. It shows me beating up characters from the games I've talked about, set to that awesome theme song cover. So I get sucked into a video game world, and the first stage is based on Super Mario Brothers. Rather than jumping on Goombas, I fight them like a man. Punch him! Yeah, tell him. Honestly, this is pretty fun, but unfortunately I'm having technical problems. The game crashed, and to be serious for one moment, I'm not playing on a Commodore, it's a brand new PC. The game crashed again and again within only the first 30 seconds of the game. And every time it crashed, I had to wait through the entire intro. I can't find a way to skip it. So, unfortunately, I can't play this one for some reason, whether it be a problem with my computer or whatever. And it's a shame, just when things were starting to blow up. Well, anyway, Lord Gavin strikes again with AVGN Game Over 2. This sequel is done in more of a 16-bit style. Feels a lot more like Super Mario World. What's really awesome about this one is that you can use an Xbox controller with it. That's right, a real controller. Don't try to play it with the keyboard or else you won't be able to jump correctly. I found that out the hard way. I think this game is really well done, even though it may not be AVGN themed that much. Now let's move on to consoles, which is more like my familiar territory. This game I got on an actual Atari 2600 cartridge, simply titled The Angry Video Game Nerd. It was sent by Lodmot. Well, it definitely looks and plays just like an Atari game. That's me, by the way. Damn, I'm looking good. The things on the bottom are Sega, Atari, and Nintendo consoles. If you can wrap your head around a Sega or Nintendo console being in a game that's being played on an Atari console. The things flying in from the top are shitty games. The object is to shoot the shitty games before they get to your consoles. In true Atari fashion, it takes a lot of imagination and has lots of flashing effects. Is that the music from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? All we need is some boom. Give me some boom! Give me some boom! Boom! Yeah! It takes a lot of extra effort to put a game on a real cartridge, so how could you resist AVGN vs. Dr. Wily by ABO Hiccups? It's gonna be me, isn't it? gonna be me. Yeah, that's me. So basically, it's Mega Man 2, but instead of Mega Man, it's me. I'm in Mega Man 2, one of the best games ever made, and I'm in it! If I could have foreseen that as a kid, I would have shit my pants. The other difference is that the levels are redesigned to be way harder than the original game. So, if you thought the game wasn't hard enough, and it needed the fucking nerd in it, then this is for you. Anyway, let's play some more AVGN games. Hey nerd, since you've been doing AVGN Games, how about an AVGN board game? Board James? What is this? Why does everyone always drop in uninvited? Now, come on, this is a great game. Check it out. Angry Video Game Nerd Monopoly by Matthew Nielsen. Everybody knows how to play Monopoly. It's the same thing, but all the properties are games that you've reviewed, nerd. Like Superman 64, Deadly Towers, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Ooh. Instead of trains for the transit system, how about traveling around in the tornado from Simon's Quest? There's glitch cards and used game shop cards. Some of my favorites are you break your TV out of rage from playing Wayne's World and have to pay $150 for a new one. And how about you achieve the highest score in the Terminator and get paid $150? Cheating fine for using Game Genie. Or check out this one. You revisit Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. You're revisiting it, so that means you're going backwards and not past the press start panel. Very elaborate way to say go back. Or you accidentally use an Atari Jaguar console as the toilet and the shopkeeper charges you $50 for damages. Where does he get his prices from? Yeah, Jaguar CDs are way more expensive than that. But isn't that awesome? Somebody made a Monopoly game about you. Everybody's gotta have a Monopoly game. Even AC/DC has a Monopoly game. Yeah, that's cool, but how'd you get here? Aren't you supposed to be in jail? Oh, well, I used a get out of jail free card. Yeah, but didn't you kill your friends or something? That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was the fucking phone! God, fuck you! And everybody! Okay. You know, that guy looks familiar. Anyway, speaking of phones, next we have a game that you play on your phone. Well, okay. This is Texting of the Bread, produced by Screw Attack. I believe it's a spoof of Typing of the Dead, which is a spoof of Night of the Living Dead. Wow, a spoof of a spoof. I just happen to be a playable character in it. I'm just sitting around, minding my own business when a zombie gingerbread man bursts in. I hate it when that happens. The idea is to type, or should I say text, as fast as you can to shoot all the gingerbread men. Oh! This is the weirdest game I've ever been in. And at last, we have the recent Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, also produced by Screw Attack, developed by Freak Zone Games, and officially endorsed by me, which means I better check it out and make sure they didn't fuck it up. In the intro, I get pulled into the TV by my balls. Story of my life. Next thing, I'm inside an 8-bit platformer, getting nagged by Naggy, the patronizing Firefly. Press A to jump? Yeah, thanks. You're a fucking genius. Now leave me alone. My 8-bit self says it all. After the tutorial, you get a selection of stages. Clearly, it's the largest AVGN game yet. I'm using an Xbox controller, and the controls feel 100% fluent. There is no doubt about it, this is a legitimate side-scroller, proving that the genre is still alive and strong. We don't even need to go back to the past. We're still in the past. And why is the music so fucking awesome? You can play as hidden characters like the Bullshit Man, Is That Guy Dead Again? And Mike. Who the fuck is Mike? I don't know anyone like that. Not to mention, there's lots of hidden cameos. See if you can find them. There's also power-ups like Super Mecha Death Christ, which obliterates everything, and the Glitch Gremlin, who makes everything go berserk. You know, I've heard a lot of people say this game is very difficult, but I'm not having any trouble with it. I mean, come on, it's my game! I'm the fucking nerd! Okay, whoever came up with this is Exactly. They read my mind. They're an asshole, which means the asshole who made this game acknowledged that they're an asshole and that I'd call them an asshole. You asshole. Great. Do I really need to be reminded of Silver Surfer again? Why does everything look like a dick? Oh no, not the where did you learn to fly, bitch. Then there's the happy land where everything is smiling. No matter where I die or how I die, there's always one of these things making fun of me. The death screen always generates a random quote. Saves me the work of trying to come up with something. Let's try Dungeons and Dickholes. Now this is going too far. When I came up with this idea during my Super Pitfall episode, I didn't know somebody would actually create this exaggerated death trap. I can't even blame anyone but myself. I came up with this. What was I thinking? What the fuck? No way. They didn't. It's the giant claw. It's as big as a battleship. How did it get in this game? It just barged right in, like a battleship crashing into a harbor. It's taken so many hits, like bullets on a battleship. It's a flying battleship! This isn't the first time the giant claw appeared in a video game. It was also in another Freak Zone game, based on another terrible movie, Manos: The Hands of Fate. So it begs the question, when will the giant claw strike again? The movie was filmed in Hollywood. Manos was filmed in El Paso. I originally broadcast out of New Jersey. I don't see any pattern. Oh, of course. A perfect pattern. Next is a level based entirely on the Atari porn games. Who would do that? Don't look, kids. Then there's Assholevania. It's as if you took all the things that were frustrating about the Castlevania games and the Mega Man games and put them all together. The biggest obstacle are these death blocks. You touch them, you die. It's all about getting these patterns down, and there's hardly any room to fuck up. Undershot it. Overshot it. You think there's enough death blocks? Then there's Blizzard of Balls, a Christmas snow level. Nothing says Christmas like shitting chickens. The best part is killing Santa and using his body as a sled. On the polar opposite, we have the Hell level, Thy Farts Consumed, where you fight caca demons. And ride on a shark shooting lasers. This is ridiculous. Then, of course, you fight the devil himself. And don't you love the intentional typos? Conglaturation, is that the new hip way to spell it? Is that what the kids are doing now? The remaining level is Boo, Haunted House. You have to play the whole stage in tunnel vision, and this is where they really get carried away with the death blocks. Even when you know it's there, it's still hard not to touch it. Oh, what? Oh no, oh geez. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, fuck! After you've conquered all the stages, one last final stage appears. Laughin', Jokin' Numbnuts, the bane of my existence. This is deliberately designed to be one of the most unfair stages in video game history. For example, you have to shoot this gear to make the platform move, but then you're killed by the death block, so you have to jump faster than your own bullet. And after that, more death blocks appear out of nowhere. Meanwhile, there's all kinds of shit flying everywhere. There's not one stable spot to stand to catch your breath. You gotta keep moving. You don't even have time to think. Look at this. Look at all these death blocks. I hate them. I hate them as much as the fucking Medusa heads in Castlevania or the grass in Bill and Ted. Every game has its thing, and this one's thing is to piss me off. It was made to piss me off. And at the heart of it all, the final boss, my arch nemesis. It's Fred Fucks. It's the programmer, motherfucking Fred Fucks. Finally, I get to kick his ass. Yeah! Fuck you, Fred Fox! Fuck you, Fred Fox! Ah! Got him! I feel like I played every bad game I ever played all at once. And now others are playing it. Because of me. It's like I shared all my horrible experiences. It's all my fault. Fuck this game! Take that, game.
Today, we're talking Garfield, yeah! And since this is the December episode, you might be wondering, is there anything Christmas about it? Yeah, there is. I'm wearing a Santa hat. Back in the day, there used to be this roll of paper that came to your house. It was called a newspaper, yeah. It had a bunch of news and sports crap in it, but there was also comics. Every day, as a kid, I would dig out that comic section and go straight to Garfield. It was my favorite, and all it was a cat. A cynical, sarcastic cat who speaks only in thought clouds, who likes to sleep, eat lasagna, and beat up his owner John and his dog Odie. Nevertheless, there was something about it that hooked me, and I collected many of those books that archived all the old Garfield strips. Part of the appeal was from being a cat owner. There was a relatability factor. Never before had I seen a comic that made fun of how cats can't make up their mind if they want to go out the door, or how they plan out their jumps across furniture. It's a comic about what your cat is thinking, what goes on inside their little minds. That is, until Garfield evolved into a more generic character. Another thing I loved was the slapstick. There was so much chaos and destruction. It often involved food being splattered or someone being whacked in the head. Everyone remembers Odie getting a lot of abuse, but John would get totally messed up. He's falling on his face, getting burped through the door. Sometimes it happens in a combo. A pie to the face, his pants get ripped off, and then he's kicked over. These type of exaggerated cartoon physics were new to me at the time. Even though it was just a drawing on a page, I could see it moving. Garfield is what taught me how to draw movement. And I gotta mention, John's facial expressions are so funny. But I think one of the biggest appeals of the character is Garfield's fuck all attitude. He doesn't give a shit. He's the king of laziness, especially when they gave him that monotone voice for the animated show. That set the way for how Garfield talks. While I was a big fan of both the show and the strip, eventually, like most things, it became repetitive and predictable. Just think, there's been a Garfield comic every day since 1978. By now, you wouldn't think Garfield would still be such a big deal anymore. But the internet has given Garfield a whole new life. There's so many fan works and spoofs, it would be impossible to count. There was a Garfield randomizer that mixes panels from different Garfield strips. There was Silent Garfield that removes Garfield's thought clouds. And then there's Garfield minus Garfield, which removes Garfield altogether, making John into a much crazier character than he already was. It's hilarious. Then there's the square root of minus Garfield. It never ends. There's all kinds of theories, like trying to explain whatever happened to Odie's original owner, Lyman, who was only in the early comics. The theory goes he was murdered or captured by John, and there actually exists a Flash game called Garfield's Spooky Scavenger Hunt with an Easter egg showing Lyman chained up in the basement. I didn't know Garfield had such deep lore. What is it with Garfield? Why has it infiltrated our imagination so much? Is there any core meaning? Well, perhaps some of the video games might hold some clues to the secrets of this stupid cat's enduring popularity. Or not. You want to know how many Garfield games there are? No, you really don't. There's too many, and they've been making them since the days of Atari 2600. What you see here is a prototype, developed during the video game crash of '83. It was canceled, but not lost, unfortunately. There's not much to do but hop across a fence while avoiding potted plants. Next thing, you're on a rooftop. Oh look, Odie's in the chimney, like Santa. There's our Christmas reference. How do you like that? Merry fucking Christmas. Happy goddamn holidays. And while you're at it, Happy New Year! Happy Valentine's Day! Happy Arbor Day! Happy World Mosquito Day! And happy birthday, Brian. Anyway, you encounter this gray hanging creature who I think is supposed to be normal. Next thing, you're in the universe of Odie's eating burgers. And that's about it. It's a 30-second unfinished Atari game. There were tons and tons of Garfield computer games in the 80s, but when it comes to consoles, there was a Famicom version. It was called A Week of Garfield. Somehow, it never made it to the NES. In some cases, that's a shame because there's a lot of good games that only came out in Japan. Is this one of those? Or is it the other kind? The title screen is promising. It at least looks like Garfield and Odie. But then Odie runs away, and Garfield says, "Where are you going, Odie?" He's quitting. Already. That's a bad sign. Level 1, you're walking through John's ugly house with tasteless wall colors and randomly placed tables and What happened? I'm dead? That was fast. Anyway, the goal of the game, I think, is that you're trying to find Odie. I'm dead again? Oh. Okay, this already sucks. Now there's a spider in my way. Oh, great. It mimics your movement. Oh, what was that? Did Garfield just turn into a four-legged cat all of a sudden? Yes, actually, that's how you crouch in the game. And it's true, Garfield used to walk on four legs in the early comics, but in the game, it switches back and forth. Every position, whether jumping or whatever, all look like totally different Garfields. The attack, you gotta be kidding me. That's all you get? Just a wimpy little kick? At first, I couldn't even tell if I was attacking or not. That range is so short, it doesn't even go outside Garfield's own hitbox. You gotta get the power-ups. You can throw bones, what look like bombs, and a spread gun. A spread gun. Do you remember the comic where that happened? Where Garfield fired a spread gun at a bunch of frogs and mice? The enemies make no sense. How did John let all these frogs in his house? Remember that one strip where Liz came over and he was like, "Oh shit, I got all these frogs jumping around." Oh, that John. Then you got all these green alien bug things and gray mice. That mouse just kicked my ass! Drained my health in a second. Damn! Knocked me in the air! These mice don't fuck around. When you reach the end of the stage, if you reach the end of the stage, you come to a locked door. Let me guess. You gotta find a key. Alright, I'm gonna go back. Wait, you can't go back. Does that mean I'm fucked? Oh, now I'm just jumping around like an idiot. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I guess that means I can stop playing. Never mind. I found the key. You trigger it by jumping in a specific spot. What's the point of that? Who puts a key right in front of the door? And this happens on every level. Why even have a locked door if the key is always right there? You're gonna find it, even if you have to touch every spot on the screen imaginable. It adds nothing to the game except wasted time. At the end of the level, John will say something. It's always just one sentence. What happened? I don't know. You want to tell me what happened? May I help you? Yeah, you could give me some power-ups or a health upgrade or just some tips. Nope, just puts me back in the game. Okay. What can I do for you? I don't know, John. What can you do for me? What have you done so far? Nothing. You're a waste. You're a useless piece of shit. Let's challenge. Challenge? What challenge? Hasn't this whole thing been a challenge? Still looking for Odie? Oh, right. Yeah, that's the goal. Because that's what you were asking. Not that you, had any advice or anything. You just wanted to know. Well, yeah, I am still looking. Asswipe. Garfield would have given up long ago. Why would he ever be looking for Odie? Garfield would be glad to get rid of him. Garfield wouldn't even get out of bed, except to eat. Maybe if that were the goal, if he's trying to find a massive treasure trove of lasagna, that would at least make sense. Because cats love lasagna. No, it never made sense. This game is work. A lot of work. Something Garfield would never do. All the levels are pretty much the exact same thing. You just move to the right and get bombarded by hordes of enemies. Too many enemies. Way too many. Damn birds. Duck and jump. Oh! Okay, duck down. Alright, and then, oh, the fucking mouse! Alright, I know the mouse is coming. And jump! Oh! Shoot him. Shoot him, shoot him! Oh! Duck under the birds. Jump over the mouse. Oh! The big problem is the game doesn't start with much health, and anytime you find more health, it only adds a tiny sliver to the health bar. That's all you get? You gotta be kidding me. There's no post-hit invincibility either. Any enemy can drain all your health in a flash. You know, I happened to notice that if you scramble the words Garfield Odie, you can get Fragile Die. Just wanted to point that out. Wait till you get to the bosses. They're near impossible. It's funny they use such obscure Garfield characters. That right there is Fluffy Ned. No, I'm just kidding. It's nobody. Don't you wish you had more health? Well, just play the level over again and don't get hit so much. Don't you wish you had more ammo? Well, play the level again, trying to save your ammo while not getting hit. Don't you wish you were playing a different game? Well, take the fucker out and throw it in the dumpster! I like that the restaurant says foods, foods, foods. Also, is it just me, or does the music sound like Get Back by the Beatles? Another thing, that spider in the tree reminds me of Jekyll and Hyde, the way it drops down and blocks your way, but at least here the weapons actually work. Anyway, I'm at the last level now. Wish me luck. Oh, hi Odie. Bye Odie. I guess you just walk past him. Uh-oh, this is it. Purple Cat boss. Yes, a purple cat throwing knives is the final boss of a Garfield game, and he's hard as shit. Aw, fuck! Ah! Fuck! Ah! I just gotta hit him with the bombs. Hit him with the bombs. Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Come on! Come on! Come on! I did it! I did it! I beat him! I just gotta find the key, and it's all over. All right, where's the key? What happened? What? Time limit? There's a fucking time limit? I can't believe there's a time limit. So not only do you have to get to the boss with optimum ammo and health, but you also have to do it fast as fuck. Well, I'm not doing that. Just one more time. All right, I'm gonna get him this time. Oh, we're down to the wire again. 10 seconds left. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is this possible? Is this 5, 4, 3, 2? Oh, there is no key this time. What? You saw that, right? I beat the boss and made it through the door. How much farther did I need to go? It's not even worth it. Just one more time. I swear, all I needed was just one more second. All right, motherfucker. Come on, come on. Yes. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What? No! Just one more time. Okay, that was as fast as I could go. And so 12 seconds left. Oh boy, 10 seconds. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 5. Oh my God. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. I did it! Congratulations, boys. It was easy. Yeah, sure it was. See you again. I hope not. Well, there you have the Famicom Classic, A Week of Garfield. A week off my life expectancy. This isn't Garfield, it's more like Barfield. This is one of the worst 8-bit shitfests I've ever played. I'm glad it didn't come out in the US, and I'd be even more glad if I never even knew it existed. I don't think you could top that shit. But let's take a quick look at another Garfield game on the Sega Genesis. It's called Garfield Caught in the Act. Caught in the Act doing what? Never mind. The plot is that Garfield gets sucked into the TV. Yeah, that old cliche that's been done over and over, most notably in the AVGN game. So now Garfield is platform jumping through a bunch of movie genres, a classic horror stage, a pirate stage, prehistoric, Egyptian, and even a film noir stage called Casablanca. Man, I miss the 90s when it was still commonplace to reference movies from the 40s. Nowadays, if you make a Casablanca reference, the kids won't know what the fuck you're talking about. At first glance, this is what you want. It actually looks like Garfield, the animation is nice, but just try playing. I dare you. Try playing it for 10 minutes, and you'll see. It's not what it seems. It's like chocolate-covered diarrhea. You think it's a side-scroller, but no. It's a sideways, up and down, left and right, up and down, fall back, do it again, left and right, left and right. Who would have thought a Garfield game would be this confusing to navigate? Even when you figure out where you're supposed to go, a big part of the trick is not getting hit or missing a jump. If you fall down, you gotta do it all over again. Or, if you fall in the water, it takes you back, just like the sewers in Ninja Turtles. Garfield wouldn't have the patience for all this, so why should I? I even encountered a glitch. On the prehistoric stage, after beating the boss, a reptilian Odie, the game soft-locked. Nothing happened. So I had to reset the rotten thing and start over from the beginning of the whole game. I would ask, did they even test this shitty game out? But the answer is yes. According to the end credits, there were 2 lead testers, 4 assistant lead testers, and 14 regular testers. There's no way! On top of the regular levels, there's a stage made up of TV circuits that acts as the main hub. This is where the final boss lies, and you'll never guess what this boss is. It's, this. What the hell is that thing? It looks like a robot velociraptor with a bow tie and plugs for hands. It doesn't even look like it belongs in the same game. It looks like something you'd see in Vector Man or something. How did this thing get in here? It would be like playing Super Mario World and all of a sudden Saberwolf shows up. So, I beat 2 Garfield games, and am I proud of it? No. I think they should have ended with the Egyptian level. That was already a worthy pain-in-the-ass final boss. It's a giant statue of a pharaoh with the face of John, I think. It's funny to think of John as some kind of high ruler, a king or a god. I mean, he does own a cat, and pharaohs owned cats as protection against snakes and shit. In ancient Egypt, cats were regarded with high importance. They were depicted on the walls of tombs, sometimes even being mummified with their owners. This is rather profound because Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, will undoubtedly be remembered for Garfield for all eternity. In a sense, he will take his cat to the grave, just like the ancient pharaohs. The pharaoh in the game is John, but does anyone remember who John actually is? Go back to the very first Garfield comic. He's a cartoonist. John is Jim Davis. And perhaps Jim Davis is no mortal man. Maybe he's a reincarnation of an ancient deity, a god. It makes perfect sense. Why else would everybody still be worshiping Garfield after all these years? And if you scramble the name Jim Davis, you can get Divagism. That's disgusting, I apologize. One more game! Just to throw out one more shit nugget for you, there was a Game Boy game called Garfield Labyrinth. It's a maze game which is essentially a remake of Solomon's Key, which was one of the all-time great puzzle games, as an arcade and NES port. This version basically replaces Solomon with Garfield and gives him some weird weapon to destroy blocks with. What is that thing? Some appendage on his body? I know what that is. It's never mind. Enough dirty jokes. It turns out this game is based on yet another game called PP Hammer and his pneumatic weapon. PP Hammer? Okay. Yes, it's true. This cat has a dick. Yeah, that was kind of a Ghostbusters reference. Speaking of Ghostbusters, check this out. You're not going to believe this. This game was actually a Ghostbusters game. You're thinking, oh, come on now, but I'm not kidding. Look, compare them side by side. Same games, only the sprites swapped. The Garfield game is the PAL version, while the North American version is the real Ghostbusters. Yeah, not just any Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, the animated series with the voice of Lorenzo Music as Peter Venkman, same guy who voiced Garfield. And as we all know, there's one other character in this universe who happened to play both those characters as the voice of Garfield in the live-action films and as Peter Venkman in the live-action Ghostbusters. Of course, we're talking about Bill Murray. In fact, there's that scene in Zombieland, you know, when the whole movie hits the brakes and becomes a Ghostbusters parody. What is the other movie that Bill Murray references in that scene?
Do you have any regrets?
Garfield, maybe?
What is it with Garfield and Ghostbusters? Why are these two separate franchises so closely linked together? Anyway, about the game. You might be wondering what it was originally called in Japan. Was it Ghostbusters or Garfield? It was neither. It was Mickey Mouse 4! Fucking hell. Mickey Mouse 4. Can you think of any other game, any other media in the history of civilization that went from Mickey Mouse to Garfield to Ghostbusters? I don't know how this came to be, but it sort of piques your curiosity, doesn't it? But hang on, if this is Mickey Mouse 4, then what about Mickey Mouse 3? Well, the game that was known in Japan on Famicom as Mickey Mouse 3 was known on NES as Kid Clown in Nightmare World. Yeah, you know, Garfield, Ghostbusters, Kid Clown, all that shit. But I know what you're wondering. What about Mickey Mouse 1 and 2? I wish I didn't have to answer that, because now we're really going down the rabbit hole, with the emphasis on rabbit. Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle 1 and 2. Yeah, you remember back when I reviewed all those Crazy Castle games? Little did I know, in Japan, it was originally the Mickey Mouse series. Not to be confused with Mickey Mousecapade. But then Mickey Mouse 3 and 4 branched off. And was there a Mickey Mouse 5? Of course there was a Mickey Mouse 5. Meanwhile, Crazy Castle 5 became all about Woody Woodpecker. So Mickey Mouse and the Crazy Castle series were like two timelines that temporarily crossed together. Two intersecting comet tails of chronological confusion. Oh, and that's not all. The very first Crazy Castle game was on both NES and Game Boy. The Japanese version of the Game Boy version was Mickey Mouse, but the Japanese version of the NES version was Roger fucking Rabbit on the Famicom disk drive. Holy shit. Not to mention, the European version of Crazy Castle 2 was part of the Hugo series. I can't take it anymore. And of course, it all comes down to Bugs Bunny. I've done that one. Let's see. Shitty. I've done that one too. Shitty games. This one looks pretty shitty. Yeah, it's shitty. Just flying around, shooting frogs and bubbles in space. Oh, that's not enough material to work with. I'm moving on. Here's one. Yay, this sucks. Kid Nicky's jumping around like he's on the moon. It's ass. Nah. Oh, now this looks hilarious. My mind is a blank. There's gotta be something. Oh, Deathbots. How could you go wrong? Or right. Or rightfully wrong. Shooting robots. Okay. I got it. Mad Max. It was made by Mindscape, proving that not every NES movie-based game was made by LJN. See, LJN was like a cat, and the NES library was its litter box. When the litter box gets too shitty, the cat shits somewhere else. Now I'm on track. Well, you drive around, you run around shooting people, you drive, shoot, buy stuff, drive and shoot. I wish it were LJN because they would have given me more to talk about. Call me an explorer. I've been searching for the perfect shitty game, and I've seen just about everything at this point. But you know what? I'm going to do something that I've never done yet, and that is to review a game on the Turbografx 16. Holy shit. The Turbografx 16 was developed by Hudson Soft and NEC. Its original name in Japan was the PC Engine, which sounds like a computer on a train. No wonder they changed it. The games came on cards, which was unique. It was technically the first 16-bit console made to compete with the NES, but it was soon trampled by two titans, the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Yeah, you were either asking your parents for the Genesis or the SNES. The Turbografx 16 was the one nobody gave a shit about. It didn't have as many third-party game developers working for it, but the benefit of that was that it meant less shitty games. The Turbografx library is less contaminated than the rest. That's why it's taken me so long to get to it. There's no major stinkers that stick out. But I might have found one. Darkwing Duck, based on the TV show.
I remember the show, but I'm not overly familiar with it, which is a fair spot to be in. I have no high expectations or low expectations. By now, I've played some of the most horrible games that are humanly possible to make. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, Big Rigs, Hong Kong 97. I think I've set the bar too high, or too low, depending which way you look at it. So now, let's get into some more sensible territory. Let's get serious. Or should I say, let's get dangerous. Ah, fuck. You son of a bitch. You piece of dog shit. Fuck, they think we fucking pieces of shit. It begins with a stage selection screen. You move a magnifying glass over a photograph of the villains. By selecting a villain, you load their stage. That's pretty unique, I have to say. As you can see, it's a standard action side-scroller. Nothing much to explain. The graphics are satisfactory for this era. I guess I'm not supposed to be able to reach that D. Come on. Come on! Huh! Figured I could get a running start, but that doesn't work. Great, the game just began and they tease you with an item that you can't get. There's gotta be a way. Oh, I see, you bounce on the skateboarding penguins' heads. How could I be so casual when I say skateboarding penguins? Wait. Why didn't it work? Whoa, is it a fluke the first time? Oh, maybe I bounce on this thing? Nope. It's not like I have to get the D. I don't even know what it does, but it pisses me off. I feel like an ass. I can't let that go. I feel like I've been fooled. It's like a test from the game programmers, a challenge. Like, you put that D there, and I'm gonna figure out how you intend I get to it. I believe this is possible. All I gotta do is bounce on one of these penguins. Why would it be so difficult? You know why? The penguins don't come when you're anywhere near the D. No, you gotta walk way out there before they start coming, and at that point they're so fast you lose them. Ah, I'll stun them with my gun, then bounce off them. I just gotta get one of them over to the D. Fuck. I give up. There's a whole game ahead of me. Fuck the D. The D can suck my dick. I have to mention, the controls are very delayed. You'd never know just by looking at it. No, you'd have to play it for yourself. Or, how about listen to me hit the button? You hear that? That's how delayed it is. Okay, here's Tuscarnini. Immune to gunfire, apparently. I suppose I have to jump on him or over him. And that's so convenient when you're going uphill. No! Oh, I have an idea. Nope. Gotta admit, it was a pretty smart idea. I accept that I have to take a hit. Can I just get past him? Whew, thank God. Oh, no! I've been playing on normal mode. I'm changing it to easy. Huh, easy and normal. Should be called hard and fucking bullshit. Is this guy gonna die or what? Finding ammo isn't that common, and I just wasted it all on one guy. What a shitload of fuck. Here's the final showdown with Tuscarnini. Okay, so the idea is to jump on him. I did it once, why can't I do it again? Oh, sorry, I shit myself. How did the bags hit me? I was standing perfectly in between them. The hit detection in this game seems to be spontaneous. I can usually adapt to crap, but this game is a rare breed where I legitimately can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. It's a type of game designed to make it appear that you're playing real poorly, to make you question, is it really you? But it's the delayed controls and strange hit detection. Now all of a sudden it worked? Nothing has any rhyme or reason. Things go on diagonal slants so you can't tell what part you're allowed to jump on. Hazardous objects still harm you even when you clearly jump over them, as if there's some kind of invisible electric barrier around them. Don't you think there'd be a reason why the window is broken? Doesn't it look like I can hop down there? How about hanging on the power lines? Darkwing is actually reaching up as if he could grab on, but it never happens. It messes with your mind. It's a psychological sucker front, a facade. It's the equivalent of an open door that you can't go in. Another brain teaser they throw at you is this puzzle. As you progress in the game, you get more pieces of the puzzle to work with. The annoying part is that they put 2 characters behind the puzzle, so sometimes I can't tell if I'm looking at the puzzle or at a piece of the background. Just have a flat color! Jeez, is it fucking rocket science? Oh, look at all those goodies up there. Jump on the bat. Jump on the bat! I give up. What a kick in the ass. What kind of game is this where you can sometimes jump on things and other times can't? So much shit coming at me. So much shit! What the fuck just happened? It's like you make one wrong step, you go to the dungeon, bitch! What is this thing anyway? A pizza that turns into a capybara? You can't duck and shoot. Great. Well, at least you can duck. You are a duck. I don't know what kind of fucked up duck can't fucking duck. Get up there. Get up there! Get the fuck up there! With these kind of controls, you should not be required to do platform jumping. And just about now. Fuck. Let's try again. Wait for it. Nope. Not now. Next time. And here it comes. If you stand still for too long, a safe drops on you. Like the game is saying, fuck you! Might as well just be a giant middle finger, and it should be the only part of the game in 3D. Put on your 3D glasses, get ready, set, fuck you, kids! This could have been a decent game. Darkwing Duck is not one of those concepts that's doomed from the start. The show had elements of action, crime solving, and humor. It's been done well before. There's an NES version which was basically like Mega Man, but with a duck. It was made by Capcom, who of course made the Mega Man games, and DuckTales. Those all turned out great. So what happened here? The control isn't just bad, it's uniquely bad in an indescribable way. Every game with bad control has its own feel, its own identity. Making bad games is an art form. It's a delicate recipe. Some are worse than others. It might be a massive truckload of elephant shit or a pellet of bird poop. To explain exactly how bad it is, I've invented the shit scale. It begins with games that are debatably bad, somewhat good games with serious flaws, not part of the turd crust but well within smell range. Then you get to the high level of shit contamination, games that are possible to play but nobody in their right mind would. Then you get into the very high category, which encompasses the majority of LJN games. This is where you could still survive, but you'd come out traumatized. For life. Next is the severe zone. This is for masochists only. These are games that could kill a person. Stay away. Don't even think about it. Then we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Enough said. Finally, at the extreme end of the scale, major code red, we have games that don't even qualify as games at all. They shouldn't even be on the scale, but they are. And that's so you know to beware. Never play them, never talk about them. So where does Darkwing Duck fall on the scale? I'd say somewhere around here. Of course that means there are games that are worse, but from what I've seen so far, Darkwing Duck is the worst game on the Turbografx 16. Being the worst at something is quite an achievement. I've played fighters, shooters, racers, fighters, beat-em-ups, fighters. You know, when you've played a King Kong assload of shitty games like I have, it feels like you've played them all with just a different title. I want something new. Who said that? Oh!
Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Wow, I guess I'm gonna play that now. In Japan, this game was released as Hello Pac-Man, published by Namco. However, in the North American release, the game had a bit of controversy around it. In the 90s, a company named Accolade developed and published their own unlicensed Genesis games by reverse engineering the lockout chip. This pissed Sega off, who, in '91, sued Accolade not once, but twice. They eventually settled and allowed Accolade to become a full Sega licensed publisher. This also pissed off Nintendo because Accolade was releasing so many games on their bitter rival's platform. So Accolade made another company, Ballistic, to get around publishing limits with Nintendo. And they all got this weird cheap sticker slapped on the label. The most common complaints I've heard about this game are controlling Pac-Man's mood swings while pairing vague tactics to solve each level. If you're lucky enough to have the booklet, there's some hints in the back. In the front, the game is glorified as the world's first interactive cartoon. You guide and help him with Namco's innovative character guidance interface, also known as CGI, not to be confused with the other CGI abbreviation. There's definitely a masochism tone that makes the game feel counterintuitive to play. What the fuck? We're friends now after shooting shit stones at his face? That's a good way to get your ass kicked if you don't put someone's eye out first. Oh, I mean, come on, that looks like it hurts. Oh, right there. Oh, damn. Okay, so the first mission is to get Pac Baby some milk from the local farm. Seems simple enough. Well, that wasn't so tough. That witch is pissed. Wait, those eyes. FF? Fred Fucks? Could it be? The next mission is getting a flower for their friend Lucy's birthday. This time you have to take a lift to the mountains, and what a hassle. This game starts to ramp up the cryptic difficulty. Unlike other point-and-click and decision-based games, this one takes it to another level by making you a secondary godlike co-op to Pac-Man. Right here, if I don't intervene, he will just walk off this cliff like a fucking lemming. Or here, every detail is important, and the slightest fuck-up can happen from almost anything in the environment. You gotta be super vigilant. This fucking hang glider is the shits. It's an exercise in frustration with no checkpoint. Luckily, there's infinite continues, but every time I get an inch further, I just fuck up and have to start all over. It's a kick in the sack. And what a shitload of fuck that was to get this stupid-ass flower. Oh, and also, before you can leave this level, you need to find 3 ID cards. There's some secrets littered around too, like that pack pellet or stale-ass pizza. Gross. You can also tell ghosts are nearby because their eyes are on certain objects. Eventually, after a metric ton of bullshit, you return back with the flower, everyone's happy, but guess who's not? I'd be more pissed than upset hang gliding in hell for a fucking flower I could have gotten from a store. I guess seeing as all the stores in this world are closed, Pac-Man had to go to the top of some godforsaken mountain to get them. Not like flowers happen anywhere else besides mountaintops. The third level is where Pac shit starts hitting the fan for Pac-Man. The ghosts have stolen Pac Jr.'s guitar. Now you have to go to the city and hunt down those motherfuckers. The city has a huge array of things to interact with, and for something that should only take minutes to do, it feels like hours go by. By this time, you'll notice things that are really out of place, like this fuck. To get Junior's guitar, you have to turn into Super Pac-Man and fuck up the ghosts. After defeating the ghost, you take the guitar back. Okay, so now we're on the final level, and this part is just weird. The witch is collecting ABC gum? Already been chewed gum? Why? That's nasty, man! You eventually find your way into the evil witch's science lab and come across the number sequence for the ID cards when you collect them all. Fuck this game and fuck Pac-Man. I have the ID cards, the number sequence, and he still just goes and fucks things up. What a pain in the ass it is to micromanage every... Oh! So there are a couple good things about the game. One, it has unlimited continues, and two, the password system is pretty helpful. If you fuck up and want to go back to get it right, you can pretty easily. Every moment of the game generates a password you can find in the menu. However, if you wait too long, Pac-Man gets pissy. Okay, now the final boss. Yeah, it's definitely the gum monster. It's definitely spelled with a G. I mean, look, we all know what it looks like. Let's all just grow up and get our minds out of the gutter. Now, this dickhole shit-encrusted poopy fuck final boss isn't really too hard to beat. As long as you avoid his arms, stay in super Pac-Man mode, and keep shooting the fuck out of the gum monster's face until he goes back into the gross gum pit he came from. I finished this game at 21%, which goes to show there is so much more to it if you have the time and patience. Is it a shitty game? Well, sort of, but sort of not. It's different, it's an acquired taste, it's a radical jump from the fast-paced, simple maze games we all grew to love, so maybe if they just didn't call it Pac-Man 2, it would have gone over a lot better. It's an interesting game. It's worth having in your collection. You just gotta put up with Pac-Man's emotional outbursts and just separate it from the original Pac-Man. That's all. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck?
Man. Fuck this game. I'm gonna review a good game for once. Yeah, now don't worry, I'll go back to torture myself with shitty ones, but for now, let's do something awesome. Super Mario Bros. 3 is often considered to be the greatest game on the NES, and for good reasons. It took everything that made the first Mario great and multiplied it several times over, adding new intricate levels of gameplay and challenges. Whether it's the top loader or that classic gray box, the Nintendo Entertainment System was at the height of its popularity when this masterpiece came along to push it over the top and make an everlasting impression, the defining moment of our childhood pastime. During the final years of the 8-bit era, many other games came along like McKids and Tiny Toon Adventures, which tried to emulate its gameplay, its power-up system, and overall design. It was one of the first games I remember to have a strategy guide. There was also a Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon series, even though there was no 2. That's the power that this game had. All you gotta do is say Mario 3, and anyone will go, oh yeah. Now, all the hype began before the game was even released. Most of us first heard about Mario 3 in the 1989 movie, The Wizard. An innocent little family flick, but essentially a theatrical Nintendo commercial in disguise as a feature film. But now, let's talk about Mario 3. This is going to be short because there's not much you can say that already hasn't been said a million times, but I'll put it blunt and simple. This game kicks your ass till diarrhea comes out your dick. The only thing better than playing this game would be to have a magic leprechaun come and bring you beer. There's 8 worlds, each with a different theme. Desert, snow, sky, and my favorite is the one where everything's giant. Each of the worlds has a big map screen where you can select which level you play. At first it's as simple as clearing each level and moving on, but later the paths become more complicated, whether it means going through pipes, breaking through boundaries, or sailing over water. But the actual levels are what it's all about. Slide through a bunch of bad guys, oh that's so much fun. The 2-player game has a perfect balance. It's where you can either work together to complete the game, or just compete for items and race each other to the end. Or you could die deliberately so that the other player will have to play the hard levels. There's card games, puzzle games, and even a bonus stage where you can play the original Mario Bros. Arcade. Again, this offers many possibilities to be an asshole toward the other player. The power-ups are awesome. In the original Mario, there's the mushroom and the fire flower, but now there's the leaf that turns you into a raccoon. You can break blocks with your tail, or if you get a good stretch of land to run, enough to get your P-bar up, you can fly for a short period of time. But if you get the P-wing, you can fly through the whole level. There's also the P-switch that turns blocks into coins. What does P stand for? And why is there so much P in this game? It's not full of shit, it's full of P. But about the power-ups. You also have a frog suit that swims a lot easier, you got a hammer suit which throws hammers, and a tanuki suit that turns into a statue. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I know you use it to protect yourself from enemies, but man, what kind of crack were they smoking? But the really cool thing is that you can save these power-ups and use them whenever you need them. Like before the start of the level, you might think, it's time to break out the frog suit. The enemies in the game are out of control. You got these Goombas hopping around in wind-up boots. Then you got an angry sun, Big Bertha, and nuclear waffles. Not to mention, you gotta fight all the Koopa kids and beat Bowser at the end. Alright, going through the pipes. Oh, wait. Oh, bullshit! What a bunch of fucking bullshit! Come on, you piece of shit! Come on, move your ass! Hey, how do I get this flower right here? I don't know, I'm just gonna try to... come on! Yeah, alright. This game's tricky dicky. It's pretty damn hard, too. Then there's this part where the only way to reach the goal is to fly in the air while holding a Koopa shell and break all the blocks. Who would even think to go up there? Especially when you get to the last world, it can get real challenging. This part doesn't fuck around. It's like, you got to the end, you dare to play, welcome to hell. That's what it looks like. All this fire and skulls, it looks like hell. There's sort of like a heart shape around it. Yeah, a heart around hell. Does that mean that this game loves hell? This game worships the devil. Oh my god, of course it does. Why is there so many inverted crosses? What's the H stand for? Hell? How about the part with the tarot cards? The N, Necronomicon? The P must be possession. Or maybe pentagram. Well, of course, the pentagram makes an appearance everywhere. It's no doubt that the 7 sons of Bowser represent the 7 deadly sins. You kneel before Satan on the block, and after 6 seconds you fall through. There's 6 arrows on the possession meter, and to reach the goal you go in the 6th door. That's 666. Everywhere you look, it's the number of the beast. In The Wizard, the game's introduction is basically the gates of hell opening. Yeah, video Armageddon. The devil watches you through the whole game. The clouds have eyes, the hills have eyes. Yeah, literally, the hills have eyes. Thanks heaven, and we know that there's no need to thank heaven unless there's the presence of hell. There's 8 worlds. In the 8th world, there's 5 spaces you can stand on where giant hands drag you down to your doom. There's 12 tanks you gotta jump on before the goal, and it takes me 12 jumps to get Bowser to fall down the hole. The 8th letter of the alphabet is H, 5 equals E, 12 equals L. What's that spell? Hell! And what's it sound like when you play the game backwards? This game's a product of the fucking devil. And none of the other Mario games are like that, so I don't know why it's only this one. But in conclusion, all I can say is that other than being the total epitome of evil, Super Mario Bros. 3, it's a good game. So good it's a sin.
This Halloween, I think it's time for a real treat. We're going back to one of the best horror games of all time, Doom. I remember when this came out, it was so badass, you couldn't just say Doom. You had to say Doom, or fucking Doom. A proper example in a sentence would be, hey, when I get home from school, I'm gonna play some fucking Doom. It was more than a game. It was a rite of passage. If you play this, you're cool. Enough with all that other shit. This is the real deal. Everybody was talking about it, everybody was playing it.
You're an officer on board this ship, and I require you to perform your duty. That is an order, Commander.
Look, come on, let me use it. 5 minutes, I'll pay you back.
There was even a rumor that somebody got Doom running on a McDonald's kiosk, but that wasn't true. But somebody actually did get Doom running on a McDonald's cash register. Doom was the reason computers were invented. It was one of the first times I ever heard about system requirements. Megabytes? What the hell is that shit? Will it work on my Commodore 64? Let's find out. Well, I guess I'm not cool. No Doom for me. Hey, that's fine. I'll wait. So while that loads, I'm going to talk about my memories of Doom. Before Doom, first-person shooters, FPS, wasn't what it is today. Back then, FPS stood for fucking piece of shit. Just look at Fester's Quest. You can see what I mean. At the time, I thought it was great. Never could I have imagined that three-dimensional games would become so much smoother and more detailed. But then id Software dropped on us Wolfenstein 3D. Holy shit! And then, in 93, came the big motherfucker, Doom. It melted our faces, blew our minds, stained our pants, both sides of the pants. Even the instruction manual had one of the best plots I have ever read. You're a tough, mean-ass space marine who gets sent to Mars for assaulting a superior officer. There's a line that says, matching heads with torsos to send home to the folks became a full-time job. All the trouble starts when something evil comes out of an interdimensional gateway. Your radio picks up the sounds of combat, guns firing, men yelling orders, screams, bones cracking. Then finally silence. The way it's written chills your bones and gets you ready to play. When this came out, it was a genuinely scary game. You never knew when a demon was lurking around the corner. Sometimes you'd hear a snarl. You'd jump and say, whoa, where is he? Where is he? It makes you paranoid as fuck. You had to watch your back. And then when you least expect, those evil bastards would get up in your face. This is a game where the sound plays a big part. You had to listen so you know what's coming. And when you shoot those demons, those growls and screams are so brutal. You never get bored of hearing it. It's so satisfying to gun them down. The way their bodies fall into bloody piles is priceless. Some of them, their guts spill out, and it's amazing. I couldn't believe such a gory video game could exist. It's one big, beautiful fucking bloodbath. It was shocking, it was sick, and messed up. It wasn't just a game you play for fun. This is a game you play to blow off some fucking steam. Have I been saying fucking a bit much? Well, that's because I'm talking fucking Doom. Man, I just want to play it now. Let me ask, in video games, what happens to enemies after they're defeated? They disappear, right? That's usually what happened, but not in Doom. The corpses stay on the ground. You could even leave the room, come back, and they're still there. I didn't even know programming that was even possible. It's handy, too. Whenever I get lost, I just look for the trail of dead bodies to see where I've been. It's easy to get lost, as the mazes get more complex as you go on. Sometimes you almost have to play with the map screen on, which is kind of funny, because now you're just an arrow. Kind of feels like you're controlling the spaceship and asteroids. By the way, you could even hump the walls. Oh, and those weapons. Man, those weapons. It feels triumphant when you pick up a chain gun, or a plasma gun, or a chainsaw. There's nothing more vicious and foul than when you're grinding away at a demon's face. Oh, damn! Just think, since Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the idea of chainsaws being depicted as weapons was a pretty savage concept. I had never seen it done in a game in such an epic, bloody way. And then there's the BF fucking G. Yes, the big fucking gun. Don't give me that Bioforce gun bullshit. It's the big fucking gun. And if you run out of ammo, your last resort is your fists. Man, who goes around punching demons in the face? That's gotta take some serious shit, man. Oh, and wait till you get berserk. Now you can punch so hard, some of the demons explode. You don't want to fuck with this guy. Yeah! The music. Dude, it doesn't mess around. It just rocks your balls off with the soundtrack by Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Alice in Chains, AC/DC, and more. Oh wait, those bands didn't actually sign off? You can call them sound-alikes or inspired by, but damn, some are identical. Just listen to the comparisons on YouTube. Either way, I'm not complaining because metal and doom go together better than coffee and cream. I've already said this game can be scary, but when you get to the later levels, it gets flat out traumatizing. As a kid, playing this all alone in your room late at night freaks you out. The walls are covered in flesh and blood, there's faces popping out everywhere. This place is bad news. It's as if you're descending deeper and deeper into hell. Look at that. They said it best in John Carpenter's The Thing. You gotta be fucking kidding me. There's a guy crucified with statues barfing blood. There's a beating heart. I just need to ask, how did this place get this way? So, great game. But here's where we talk about all the bad parts. So, what are some of the things that are wrong with this game? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's the fucking best. That's all there is to it. And if one awesome game wasn't enough, well then came Doom 2. Man, Doom 2's got everything. Even has a famous Easter egg. While facing the final boss, the Icon of Sin, you go through the wall and find a head on a spike, which is designer-programmer John Romero. The legacy of Doom can barely be charted, as it's influenced too many games to count. It's been the subject of several mods, like Mario Doom, Batman Doom, Seinfeld Doom, and there's a ton more weird mods out there. And still, Doom holds up. Whereas many other 3D games from this era become dated. Remember Zero Tolerance on Genesis? No? Well, good. But Doom, we can't forget. When we inhabit Mars, we'll still be playing Doom. Oh, I gotta play it. I gotta play it! Come on. That WAD file's gotta load. Load that WAD! Don't jerk me around! Fucking Doom! I gotta play Doom! 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 I must play Doom! Doom! I gotta play Doom! Doom! Oh, Doom! I'd sell my soul to play some Doom! It's speaking backwards. I know. It's that devil shit. Can you repeat that, please?
You wish to play Doom? I can make that happen.
You can help me to play Doom?
How much are you willing to suffer for it?
What do you mean? What's the deal? And do you have to keep speaking backwards?
Actually, that would be a lot easier, so that I don't have to think of all my sentences in reverse.
Okay, good.
Anyway, you want to play Doom, right?
Yeah, I want to play Doom. What do I have to do?
You shall live your life playing crappy games.
Fine. I already do that. And they're not crappy games, they're shitty games. Come on, you're the devil.
Do you accept these terms?
Yeah, whatever. Give me Doom!
You shall have your Doom.
You son of a bitch. That's pretty good. Fuck. Well, this is Doom on Super Nintendo. What can you say? Just look at it. Doom guy needs to see an eye doctor. It's so pixelated, it's practically a mosaic. The graphics are real dark, too, but not in a creepy atmospheric kind of way, like a murky, ugly kind of way. Enemies can't turn around. They're like cardboard cutouts. They have no back. But on the other hand, The music is great. The control is also very smooth. Strafing with L and R works real well. The only drawback is that you can't turn around as fast as you could with a mouse. You have to give it credit because it's a 16-bit console. They made Doom work well under the circumstances. It even has an online multiplayer feature using the X-Band modem. That was definitely ahead of its time. This is a good port, but it's nowhere near as good as the PC version. Okay, you got me. Can I play the real Doom now?
Oh, you're not satisfied? Try this.
Doom on Sega 32X. Now, this has got to be better. It's 32-bit. That's twice the bits as Super Nintendo. Oh god. Well, the resolution is an improvement, but not as good as the PC. It still looks pretty murky and pixelated. But the music? What's going on? Did we go backwards in technology? Sounds like somebody shoved a harmonica up their ass and farted through it. This is a downgrade from the Super Nintendo version. You can compare them side by side and see the level designs are actually missing certain things, like this hole. Where'd the hole go? Turning around is still a chore, and 3 buttons on the Genesis just doesn't cut it. You gotta get the 6-button controller. Not to mention, it has 15 levels compared to the 22 levels on the Super Nintendo version. Alright, enough joking around. I want the real Doom.
Trust me, I have a version that'll be more to your liking.
PlayStation? Whoa, that's actually pretty cool. It has its own original title music, which sounds like the Danny Elfman Batman theme. I think that's cool, but hang on. Did they change all the music? All the Pantera and Slayer stuff is gone, replaced by some droning atmospheric music. Which is still cool, I guess. It's creepier. Oh well, the graphics are superb, almost like the PC. They even added some color tinting to some of the rooms to help you distinguish where you're at. The controls are smooth. Everything operates fine. It even includes Doom 2, which is a big bonus. None of the other ports had Doom 2. So there's not much to complain about here. It's a near-perfect port of Doom. But man, that music, it just doesn't feel complete without those rockin' tunes. So I have to pass on this one too. Come on, can you at least give me one version of Doom that checks all the boxes?
Try this one for size.
Okay, well, Doom on the Sega Saturn. I wish I could say it's better than the 32X. The graphics are a bit more crisp, but it's darker, and the controls are a little more laggy. It also has random slowdown every now and then. It could be a case where playing it on a CD is not as stable as on a cartridge. I don't know. Also, where's the music? It's the same atmospheric drone like the PlayStation. No Metallica, nothing. Did they get a cease and desist from Lars fucking Ulrich? That music ain't cutting it. You gotta give me a better Doom.
Oh, you don't like that music? Well, see how you like this.
Jaguar? Oh, this has to be a joke. Listen to that. Hear that music? No, you don't. There is no music. Okay, so you might remember that I've already brought this up in my Jaguar episode back in 2009. Doom. This is one of the best console ports of Doom that I've played. It comes as close to the PC version as it gets, but they had to ruin it with one thing. There's no music during the gameplay. Really? Was there any reason not to have music? But shortly after that episode, I got a message from designer Sandy Peterson explaining the situation. I'll just summarize by saying it was a money issue. From what I was told, the contract with the composer meant having to pay him the same amount for the Jaguar version as the PC version, and clearly the Jaguar would sell far less copies. He ended by saying, "I know that's a shitty reason to leave out the music, but there you have it." Pretty awesome of him to respond, right? Otherwise, it's not a bad version of Doom. The controls are alright. It's the only version to have a custom keypad overlay. Sure, holding C to strafe is a bit clunky, and the map screen's a little weird. It's almost like playing an Atari game. Actually, I am playing an Atari game. Okay, that's it. Can you do any better? Or should I say, can you do any worse?
Eat this.
3DO? Oh my god. Oh my god! The music! It's amazing! It's even better than the PC version! It's like they re-recorded the music with like a real guitar! Even included some pinch harmonics! Wow. So there it is. The best Doom music. But as for the game, it's the fucking worst! The resolution and frame rate is terrible. The controls more laggy and more delayed than any of the other versions. You can shrink the screen to make it run a little smoother, but who wants that? The story goes that designer-programmer Rebecca Heinemann had only 10 weeks to rush the port through development. And I've heard she's real cool and has shared stories about its production. She even shared some behind-the-scenes photos of what? FMV scenes? This game was going to have FMV scenes? They actually filmed a bunch of crazy stuff with full Hollywood-level monster costumes. It looks awesome. But sadly, it didn't make it in because it was delivered 2 weeks before release, and there wasn't enough time to make the deadline. But one thing that did make it in, when you die, your head explodes. Wow! Let's see that again! It's the only version of Doom where your head explodes. Amazing. If only the rest of the game were any good. Okay, so let's rank the Doom ports. Graphics. I'd say the best is PlayStation and the worst is Super Nintendo. Music. I'd say the best is 3DO and the worst is Jaguar, because there is none. Control. The best is PlayStation and the worst is 3DO. If I were to give them names, I'd call them Poor Man's Doom, Silent Doom, Mosaic Doom, Almost Doom, Cow's Anus Doom, and Diluted Diarrhea Doom. They all have their pros and cons. This is like a pick your poison situation. And no, I didn't forget about Doom 64, because that's a completely different game. I call this one Blind Doom, because it's so dark you can't see shit. If only it was the 64th version of Doom.
Wait, what about Doom on Game Boy Advance?
Really? Doom on a handheld console? Do we really have to scrub the bottom of the shit bowl? Actually, this is half decent. For a handheld console, the resolution's similar to Super Nintendo, but it's brighter and easier to see what you're doing. It controls fine. Music and sound are good. Not as good as PC, obviously, but for a portable version of Doom on Game Boy Advance, it's not bad. Okay. There can't be any more of these. I'm done now, right?
Just hang in there. There's a few more.
Doom on the ZX Spectrum? Why would they port Doom on the ZX Spectrum? Why even bother? The graphics are what you'd expect, and the controls are so bad it's almost non-functional. Now you're really pulling my leg. Doom on NES? There's no way. Look at it. It's total garbage. At least it works with the NES Zapper. That's good, I guess. Doom on Game Boy? No. No! Ugh! This is below the bottom of the toilet. We're all the way into the sewage plant at this point. Doom on Virtual Boy? You know, I thought this would be a cool idea. To experience Doom in virtual reality, but this is way too soon. Not ready yet. Oh, man, at least the blood is red, because everything's red. Doom on Atari 2600? Yes, somebody actually made this. Doom on Vectrix? Somebody actually got this to run? Oh, that's it. I can't take any more. No more Doom. No. It can't be! Doom on Tiger Electronic Handheld! This is fucked beyond belief! This is below human standards! This game is filth! This game puts the dye in diarrhea! Who wants to play Doom on a Tiger handheld console? It can't get any worse. Oh God! It's worse! Doom on R-Zone! Doom on a wristwatch! Doom on a flip phone? Doom on a calculator? That's right, Doom on a calculator. The crazy thing is, you think I'm making this up. It's actually real. I am playing Doom on a calculator. Doom on a Wawa order screen? You can play Doom while you're ordering mac and cheese. Doom on a gas pump? Fill up your car while blasting away demons. Don't smoke while you play it. Doom on the Dreamcast memory card screen? The VMU? I need to emphasize, not Doom on the actual Dreamcast, but on the memory card. Doom on the screen of your car? Well, that's dangerous. Doom on your thermostat? Doom on your VCR clock? Dig out your VCR for that one. Doom on your microwave? Good way to kill time while you're waiting for your food. Doom on the turkey thermometer? Doom on a pregnancy test? I'm not kidding here. For real. Somebody got this to work. Doom on the Odyssey? It's just a dot on the screen. But that overlay works nice. But it is the only Doom port where you get to use a realistic gun. Doom the Water Arcade! Now we're past the limits of electronics. Doom the Etch-a-Sketch? Doom the Flip Book? Doom on a Rubik's Cube? Doom on Pogs? Fucking Pogs! And finally, Doom the Suppository. It's the only one with Doom 2, because it's number 2! Diarrhea dumped the Doom out! And by the way, I took 10 of them earlier!
BattleToads on Nintendo. Now don't worry, it's a good game. It's actually one of the most memorable games in the NES library. But when it first came out, a lot of people were thinking, what is this, a cheap Ninja Turtles knockoff or something? But it was actually pretty good. Who the fuck are you?
I'm your guitar guy. I sing your theme song from behind the couch.
Well then go back behind the damn couch! Jeez.
You know, that's not the welcome I really expect.
Oh, look, you can't just sit here while I do the review.
Why can't I do the review with you?
Oh, because that's not how it works. It's like, I play the game, and you get your ass back behind the fucking couch!
I don't ever get to do anything. You don't even use my song that much anymore.
Why are you always behind my damn couch anyway?
There are no other couches to go behind.
What a piece of shit. Ass! Fuck! You don't know shit about how fucking shitty this fucking shit is. It's so bad it sucks. It's so fucking suck it fucks. I'd rather eat out the rotten asshole of a road-killed skunk than play this game. Cowabunga. Cow a fucking piece of dog shit. This game is diarrhea coming out of my dick. This game is as appealing as a fucking ooze-infested, dirty fucking sewer rat shit. I've had more fun. Alright, fine. You can sit here just this one time.
Thank you.
Alright? You happy?
I'm very happy.
Very good. Okay, so anyway, BattleToads on the NES. Put that down. Put it down. Drop it. You can't fucking play the game with me.
Why not?
Because it's not even a two-player game.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Look, you see 2 players, press start. That's it. Alright, so anyway, the game begins, and how'd you do that?
I push start.
Oh, so it's arcade style. The second player has to push start to join in. Why not just a regular select screen like any other NES game? Speaking of which, the intro shows 3 toads, Rash, Pimple, and Zitz. Why such disgusting names? How about herpes, genital warts, and gonorrhea? Besides, Pimple's not even in the game. He's captured and the goal is to rescue him. But on to the game. The first level's like a classic beat 'em up. Punching people is so satisfying. I like how your fists enlarge. When you headbutt, you grow ram horns. And when you kick, your foot grows into a giant boot. You can throw your enemies and grab weapons. It's so much fun. And when you pause the game, you get this catchy beat. What's the point of that? When you pause the game, it should just be quiet. Get the dragon, hit him, hit him.
What the hell?
I didn't know I could hit you. Get the pig, knock him off. Hey, you killed me!
Sorry.
Oh, flies, let me get him, let me
No,
get him.
I need him.
Mine. Oh, look, it's a 1-up. Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
Oh, that's not fair. You kill me and then take my 1-up?
Hey, I let you try to get it. It's not my fault you fucked up.
It's the boss. Don't get hit, you dumbass. Okay, level 2. You're hanging on strings going down a hole or something. Get the bird.
I'm trying.
Oh, you fucker!
I didn't mean to do it.
That's really a problem. You shouldn't be able to hit each other. That's fucking bullshit! Come on, you piece of shit! Ah!
What happened?
I died.
But I didn't die.
Oh, that's lousy. If one player dies, you gotta start the level all over. Okay, so we can't hit each other. You take the right and I take the left.
Okay.
What the hell was that? I said
I couldn't
stay
help
right.
it. The stupid wrecking ball thing just keeps swinging side to side.
Oops, I didn't mean that.
You see?
Why have an attack like that in a game where you can harm the other player? Ah, fuck!
How are we supposed to work as a team when you keep killing me?
Level 3. We're real lucky we made it this far. Yeah, pound the guy into the ground.
Aw, what the fuck?
You get him.
No, you get him.
Alright. So awesome. You just pound him into the ground and kick him. What the fuck was that shit? Alright, now just don't hit any walls, but get the ramp. Get the ramp. Oh, fuck.
How'd you miss that?
I don't know. Alright, let's try again.
Shit.
You missed the ramp. Game over? That's game over for you, not for me.
I don't know.
What? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You died, but we both have to restart the level.
Sorry.
That's bullshit. That's terrible programming. How is it fair that when one player dies, they both have to, and my lives aren't replenished? I still have just one extra life. That means I'm gonna die next, and then we're both gonna have to start over again. Watch it. Watch it.
I know. What the fuck?
I swear I didn't mean to do that. I was just trying to hit the guy. Okay, now this is real important. None of us hit the walls, okay? Jump. Jump. Ah, fuck.
Oh, good job.
Oh my god.
Well, we gotta start all over again.
How many lives do you have?
Like 2?
Well, I guess we're not gonna make it much further.
Well, I could just die twice on purpose and then we can both
No,
start.
no. Fuck that. There's no reason why the game should be programmed this way. And we shouldn't have to stand for it.
Oh, the hell with this shit!
The hell with this fucking shit.
The hell with this banana buffalo wearing bastard bullshit!
Yeah, now you're talking. All right. So anyway, Battletoads.
I'm going behind the count!
Yeah, you do that. Go bunker yourself from all these like shitty games. Yeah, so Battletoads is not a 2-player game. Having a second player is as convenient as having a Siamese bulldog attached to your anus. It's just like with one player it's hard, but with 2, it's virtually unplayable.
Oh no, time to play a shitty game for the 98th fucking time. Dreamin Davey. Should I even care who the hell Davey is? Oh no, it's Hal. Don't trust anything called Hal. Actually, the same company created Kirby and developed Super Smash Bros. Maybe this won't be so bad then.
Awesome.
Oh no, I just jinxed the whole thing. Well, as you probably guessed from the title, this is all about a kid who daydreams. Starts out, Davey's in school and a bully steals his pencil. So he's got to get the pencil back? Man, that's some epic storyline right there. So, Davey falls asleep in class and dreams he's in the Middle Ages. It's like your typical Zelda-esque adventure, but instead of trying to save a princess and save the lives of everyone in the land from evil forces, it's all about getting a pencil. Right from the beginning, you're stuck behind some rocks. Guess I can't go past them, so I'll just go right. Oh, you can't go right. Maybe you push the rocks out of the way? No, they don't move. Maybe I jump over them? A attacks, B does nothing. Well, I guess I can't jump then. Suppose I'm done with this game. Oh, B and A. You have to hit them at the same time. Ugh. You know what I love in games? When you get some kind of item that gives you invincibility or stops time, but only lasts about 3 seconds. And how the enemies can go through trees, but you can't? That's really fair. Then you get to a large knight named Lumper. When you beat him, you'll get the lance, which is supposed to represent Davey's pencil. Why does he care so much about a fucking pencil? Was he planning to take it home after school and shove it up his ass or something? Then he starts telling the teacher he was lost in this forest, as if he was really there, like the fucking teacher's gonna believe him. So she cuts him off and says, it's artwork time. Get ready to draw. Draw, draw, like it's a chore. What? He goes to sleep again?
He falls asleep again? That's the one time in school I wouldn't fall asleep. I mean, during my normal classes, I'd be drawing on the pages of my math book and shit. That's the whole point. You draw when you're bored of school. He should have fallen asleep during math class or something boring. Did the game programmers really not know the difference between something the kids like and something they don't like?
I love how they depict going into the dream world with a trippy vortex. It's like something out of an Atari game. So now we're in the Old West. There's vultures shitting exploding bloody diarrhea. Ugh, gross. And what's going on here? What's going on here? You can't walk behind the store? That makes no sense.
Oh, sorry. I was just daydreaming about playing a better fucking game.
So the object here is to catch a bad guy. Why would a kid be buying guns and going after a criminal? Well, it's his fantasy, whatever. You don't see that in games too often today. Imagine Call of Duty playing as a 7-year-old. Anyway, you go in this building, a guy starts shooting you, and you die. This is the only part that uses a fucking targeting system. I move the cursor right over his dick nose and shoot, but he still kills me. Oh, I see. You gotta shoot the gun. Well, duh, I should have guessed that, right? Anyway, another lame cutscene, and you end up in ancient Rome. I walked all around here, found a bow in some building. Some lady tells me not to cross the bridge before I get a shield. Well, I got a thing by a tree that I thought was the shield, so I went back and crossed the bridge. Then a bunch of psychedelic flashes started fucking up the screen. Bummer. Apparently, that wasn't the shield. The game tricked me by putting a circular-shaped object on the ground. Come on, why not let me know? Just have a sign that says, not the shield. So I keep searching around and eventually find the shield. I guess it's a shield. Looks like a bullseye or, I don't know, Daisy Duck's nipple or something. Now I'm back at the bridge. No trippy side effects this time. Now it's time to face the Cyclops. You use the shield to deflect his attack, I think. Okay, never mind, I'm dead. Oh, that's great. I have to start from the beginning of the stage? And I have to find the bow and the shield all over again? Alright, didn't take me that long, but guess what? There's no more shield! What the hell? This is the same guy I killed last time, isn't it? So, now the game just isn't going to give me the shield? Well, I tried it again and again, and I figured out what the problem was. You're not supposed to kill the guy, you're supposed to touch him. That's right. So the first time I got lucky. This is the one guy you're supposed to touch. If you kill him, the shield dies with him. Makes a lot of sense. So now it's time to fight the Cyclops again. But first, some advice from this statue of, I don't know, Aphrodite or whoever the fuck it's supposed to be. The Cyclops is not truly dead until his eye is pierced. Okay, let's try it out. Alright, come on, you motherfucker, come on, Alright, he's dead. I didn't really aim at his eye, so I don't know what she was telling me about. Stupid lying bitch. How about tell me when I have to aim at somebody's gun? That would help. So here I am back in the Middle Ages, and I gotta fight a huge badass knight. Well, that Cyclops took a lot of abuse, so I'm thinking this guy's gonna be even harder. Nope. Just slash at him a few times and that's it. Don't you love games with totally sporadic difficulty? Then you get a sword, but of course it's a dream, so when he wakes up, it's a ruler he's holding. Why is he so excited about a ruler? Does he want to measure his turds? Then the teacher says, "What are you doing? You're going to see the principal for this." For what? For measuring his turds in class? Then the principal starts yapping away, which sends Davey back to sleep. What is he, on medication or something? Why can't he stay awake? Davey. Okay, so now I'm in ancient Rome. Again. We're only 5 stages in. Did they run out of ideas? Oh, wait, never mind. Now I'm in hell. Literally, I'm in hell. I gotta talk to some skeleton who says to get a coin or else I can't take his boat ride. Why would I want to get on a boat with some creepy skeleton anyway? Now I gotta leave hell to go find a coin because hell's cheap and there's no currency down there. I got a hint that the coin could be in a tree, so now I'm running all over the place, whacking every tree with my sword. Well, damn, I just tried every tree in the whole stage. I don't know where else. Oh, of course. It's the tree in the very beginning. You gotta go all the way back to the first fucking trees you see. So, take the damn coin back to hell, give it to the skeleton, and he takes you on his boat to the other side of the river. Fight Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, and after that, it's back to the Middle Ages. Again. But wait, now it's a winter wonderland? What's this, a pile of shit? Seriously, that's what it looks like. What else could it be? Fight the big knight, and then it's back to the Wild West again. Well, I guess the stages just repeat a lot, so get used to it. The sheriff has Davey go over to a bank to fight some robbers. Now I ran out of bullets, so I'm going to try using my whip. But that doesn't work. The whip does nothing. So all I have left is a stick of dynamite. Well, that got him, but it's a little excessive, kind of like robbing a bank with an atom bomb. Well, now I'm shit out of luck. No bullets and no more dynamite. So this time I restock. Look at that, 99 bullets, I'm ready to go. Come on, is this guy gonna die? Oh, okay, I used all 99 bullets and it didn't do anything. Maybe I'm supposed to go somewhere else, like go to the right? Nope. I'm exploring every inch of the screen here. Oh, only at the very bottom can you cross into the next screen. Wouldn't it be nice if there was something indicating which spot on the screen you're allowed to go right? What's this, a hooker? She asks if I need some help? Really, there's a Nintendo game where a hooker tries to sell herself to a kid. Now this whole thing is worth it. Well, actually, she just gives you a relic, and you can trade that for a shotgun so you can kill those robbers. The next stage is ancient Rome again. Now it's like a maze. Okay, so I'm dead. Then it asks me if I want to start from here again. Do I want to start from here? Yes, I would like that very much. What? I'm at the beginning of the stage? That's not what I chose, you lying fucking sack of shit! Then you fight the Medusa. This is probably the hardest boss in the game because you can't look at her when her eyes flash, or else you'll turn to dust. Finally, when you kill her, you grab her head off the ground. You know what would be really awesome? If Davey woke up here and had the teacher's decapitated head in his hands. Yeah. So then it's on to Mount Olympus. I'm in the sky. Okay, here I use the shield to block the spears. The controls are stiff though. I press the button to have the shield come up, and it only works half the time. After you kill a guy, it lets you jump these gaps with the flying sandals. But you can only jump after you've killed an enemy. Why? Why can't Davey just jump over and run past all these guys? Why does the game force me to fight each individual enemy? Oh, guess I went the wrong way. Oh, and when you throw a spear, make sure the soldiers' full bodies are on the screen. If they're off screen, even partially, it won't hit them. Classic video game logic. If you didn't actually see the spear hit, then it didn't happen. So now we're in the Middle Ages for the 10th million time. You go pick up Elmo's inside-out asshole, and then go through Winterland and Dark Evil Land or whatever, and fight a giant skeleton knight. I'm guessing this is the end of the game, after all the crap I went through to get here. Yeah, he's dead. What? Now I need a key? Oh my god, find the key. I'll find the fucking key, you fucking piece of shit. Okay, got the key, went in the door, now I'm fighting a dragon. Nothing special, just hit it with the sword a bunch of times, Then you get the Holy Grail. I had to take a leap of faith earlier, and now the Holy Grail? If only there was a big fight on top of an army tank. So Davey wakes up and the principal's like, where'd you get that trophy? So now Davey's actually bringing back objects from his dreams? Does this make any sense? You know what would be cool? If Freddy Krueger came out and clawed his fucking face off. Then the teacher puts on a film of the Wild West. Davey falls asleep, and now we're on the last stage. Thank God. Why is the Wild West at the end? We just fought a big dragon. That should have been the last stage. Anyway, you find another object that looks like a piece of crap. It transports you to another piece of crap and eventually to hell. Then you're in a graveyard shooting at more robbers. Then you gotta shoot the gun out of the guy's hand again. This time, there's 3 of these guys in a row. After that, you've beaten the game. Couldn't they come up with something unique for a final boss rather than just rehashing something we've already done? Not to mention, I hate this part. I hate that you have to position a cursor over the gun. Bummer. Couldn't they have made this into a more action-oriented boss fight, like in Sunset Riders? There's nothing enjoyable about this.
Well, that's it. Basically, that's Dreamin Davey. That's the whole game. Mediocre. That's what it is.
Where were we? Okay, so as I was saying last time, Mortal Kombat went on to inspire a generation of knockoffs and imitators that just couldn't replicate what Midway was doing, but don't think that stopped anyone from trying. Though I sure wish they did. Companies hungry for that sweet, blood-stained Mortal Kombat money went to cash in on the phenomenon, and the first to take a stab at it was Incredible Technologies with their game Time Killers. Time Killers came out only a few months after Mortal Kombat did, and was really meant to be more of an answer to Street Fighter. However, the heavy reliance on blood and gore caused it to be thought of as a ripoff of Mortal Kombat. The game is basically the definition of nothing special. The only real defining feature of this game is the ability to dismember and even decapitate your opponent during a match, which I'll admit is kind of amusing and actually satisfying when you can pull it off. It's just a flesh wound, right? There's also a fatality move you can do when the opponent gets dizzy. All you have to do is hit all the buttons at once. It's cool the first time, but it gets old pretty quick because it's the same for every character. They just slash the arms and head off the opponent, and that's it. Once you've seen a character do it, you've basically seen everyone do it. It's funny seeing the opponent without a head between rounds, though. I could see this as being a fun diversion or a time killer, if you will, but I couldn't imagine popping quarters into this game. The only reason I ever saw people playing this in the arcades was if Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter were taken up. It's funny to say, but Mortal Kombat had class, but this game feels like a dirty 50-cent hooker you came across in an alley. It really goes to show you that Mortal Kombat had so much more than just the violence going for it. The gameplay was fun and the story was cool. The violence was just the cherry on top. Not to mention, the characters were memorable. You know, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Kano, Raiden. We all know them. But who the fuck remembers Wolf, Leaf, Thug, Mantaz? I only know them because I'm looking at them. The second I turn this off, I'll go back to my blissful existence of not remembering. The entire roster is just unappealing to look at. Their animation sucks, and they're as generic as hell. The only character I kinda like is Rancid because he has a chainsaw. But oh my, is he hideous. He's basically the epitome of what 90s corporate suits thought was edgy. A big-ass hoop earring and a mohawk the color of mucus. Yup, that's 90s edgy in a nutshell, even though it says he's from the year 2024. Well, if this is what people look like in 4 years, we're doomed as a society. And no, I'm not reviewing this in the year 2024 because I'm doing it right now. So, the whole point of the game is to beat everyone and then fight against Death himself to become immortal, which Death apparently is because he says it every chance he gets.
I'm the immortal.
To beat Death, you have to finish him off by decapitating him, which, trust me, is way easier said than done. Death puts every Mortal Kombat boss to shame. Goro, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn. Death thinks they're all a bunch of pussies. All of his moves are insanely difficult to block, and he often cancels out your moves. He can even one-shot you before the round barely begins. death is a fuck. I have an unhealthy amount of hate for this game. Seriously, you need to spend a goddamn paycheck to beat this asshole in an actual arcade machine. It took me 14 tries, but I was able to slice his head off Highlander style. So there's $7 in fake quarters and about an hour of my life wasted. Luckily, I'm immortal now. So this wasn't exactly the Mortal Kombat killer that Incredible Technologies hoped it would be, but Time Killers was apparently popular enough to warrant a console port, so here's Time Killers on Sega Genesis. Oh, those graphics. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so this game came out in '96. I mean, what's the point? There were Genesis games in '89 that looked better than this. This could pass as an NES or Master System game. Look at this. Matrix doesn't even have a face. She doesn't have a face. The sound is god-awful too. All the characters sound like they're being strangled. And the music sounds like the London Symphony Orchestra if they replaced their instruments with diseased roosters. The fact that this got released so late in the Genesis's lifespan, and no, the fact this got released at all, shows they just didn't give a fuck. I played the game long enough to get to death, which took less than 10 minutes. I beat every other character on my first try, but death is as cheap as ever. And unlike the arcade, you only get 4 continues, so yeah, I didn't beat him, and I don't give a shit. I'd rather play Fred Savage Savage Fury Tournament Fighter. At least that one had better controls. This is not worthy of the Sega Genesis. I mean, I don't understand how an actual person could look at this game and think it was morally right to charge money for it. They sold this to people for money. They should be ashamed. But believe it or not, Capcom was actually impressed with Time Killers, the arcade version that is, enough so that they gave Incredible Technologies the opportunity to make Street Fighter the movie the game. So get this, a company that ripped off Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter was paid by Capcom to make a Street Fighter game that rips off Mortal Kombat. Just blows my mind. Back in my Street Fighter 2010 review, I talked about Street Fighter the movie the game, or so I thought. What I actually talked about was the version that Capcom developed and released on home consoles. However, the arcade version is an entirely different game. So why did Capcom say fuck you to Incredible Technologies and make their own version? Well, just look at it. Gone are all the things that made Street Fighter a success. The precision is replaced with clunky button mashing, the iconic music is replaced with generic droning background noise that barely qualifies as music, and the voice acting... Yeah. Just like Time Killers, the game wants nothing more than all the quarters in your pocket. The game can be downright unfair at times. The difficulty spikes randomly, and some fighters are damn near impossible. The worst fight by far is against Sagat. He has this eye laser that freezes you, and he uses it a lot. Boy, I am sick of that eye laser. Also, for some reason, they added Akuma, even though he wasn't in the movie. And he's played by Ernie Reyes Sr., father of Ernie Reyes Jr., of course. His teleport looks really stupid, like some kind of clown act or something. I mean, he just runs around like a jackass. With all that said, the game actually introduced a number of innovative features that would be adopted by later Street Fighter games, but the game itself is about as fun as having anal leakage on a public transit. Yeah, no fun. Because of this mess, Capcom had to redo the game from the ground up, but Street Fighter the movie, the game, the arcade, will forever be another skid mark on the Street Fighter bath towel. Bath towel that E. Honda took a shit in. Okay, this next game we have here, Jackie Chan in Fist of Fire. Now this I could actually get into. It's a Mortal Kombat ripoff with Jackie Chan. Oh, I don't care if the game sucks or not. It's Jackie fucking Chan in a Mortal Kombat style fighting game. All right. This is actually an update of a game called Jackie Chan the Kung Fu Master. In that version, Jackie Chan's a boss character and isn't playable though. But in Fist of Fire, you get not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of Jackie Chan to play as. This game is ass. But it's fun ass. It's in no way a perfect game, but if I saw this at an arcade, I'd definitely toss some quarters in. Other than the 3 versions of Jackie Chan, there's also 6 other characters to choose from, each of which was either in a Jackie Chan movie or part of his stunt team. The game is pretty damn difficult, but the novelty alone makes it fun to play. Also, there's fatalities. That is, unless you're fighting as Jackie Chan or against him. He's the only character that can't be finished off, and if he loses, he gets right back up and congratulates the winner. And that is so Jackie Chan, to get right back up after a beatdown and give a thumbs up. The fatalities are actually pretty gruesome too. People get cut in half, crushed, and blood sprays from their throat. Other than that, it's pretty lighthearted like most of his films. This would definitely be good for getting some friends around, having a beer, and beating the shit out of each other. In the game though, not in real life. Overall, a fun diversion. It was good to cleanse the palate from all the diarrhea we've been gargling. But don't worry, from here on out, you're gonna see some serious shit. Here it is, Taito Assassins. Now, we're really getting into it. This is possibly the most notorious of all the Mortal Kombat ripoffs, and the crazy thing is it was never actually released. The game was developed by Data East Pinball, a company that, well, get this, only made pinball games. Who would have thought? But what's even crazier, it was created by Bob Gale, the writer of Back to the Future. Yeah, I don't even know what to think of this. A Mortal Kombat ripoff developed by a pinball company, created by the writer of Back to the Future? Is this real life? The story centers around this guy in a diaper and his magic ink that gives people powers. Only certain people can handle the ink, while others turn into hideous mutants. An evil guy named Colden steals the ink and decides to make an army of mutants to take over the world, and you have to stop him. There's 9 extremely generic characters to choose from, all with their own unique marketing logo and backstory. Honestly though, I haven't read any of them because I can't stop staring at their faces. The eyes are drawn on most of them. Some look okay, I guess, but others have these weird googly eyes that are staring off to the side. The best is AC Current with the goofiest smile I've ever seen. So what really makes Taito Assassins stand out from all other fighting games is the amount of fatalities. Yeah, they really cut no corners with this one. I mean, this has more fatalities than any other game. You know how many? 2,196. Wow, I don't know, guys. You think maybe? Do you think that's enough fatalities? I mean, if there's 2,196 fatalities and 9 characters, that means each one has 244 fatalities. Mortal Kombat only has 1 or 2 per character, but that's pussy shit compared to Taito Assassins. Yeah, no joke. There are so many fatalities that all you have to do is mash random buttons at the end of a fight, and odds are you'll do one. I swear, I'm just hitting whatever and I do a fatality every time. Well, the game's great for people who can't pull off fatalities. All you have to do is mash buttons and there you go. Well, thank God for Bob Gale and Data East Pinball. The fatalities can get pretty weird too. I mean, they really took the idea to the most absurd levels. People turn into Mona Lisa, have a fly swatter smash them, get crushed by a JPEG of the Titanic, and my favorite, get burned to death by flaming farts. Okay, I'll give him that. Mortal Kombat didn't have flaming fart fatalities. Not until the PlayStation 2 era. They even threw in some amusing nods to Data East and Back to the Future. You can have a DeLorean run your opponent over or crush them with this burger time thing. The weirdest one I've seen, you fart out a turkey and it splits into more turkeys that bounce you and the opponent all over the place. I don't know what they were on. I mean, possibly, maybe drugs? There's even a nudality. No joke. This was always a rumor about the original Mortal Kombat, but Taito Assassins actually went and did it. While Taito Assassins goes above and beyond in the fatality department, it completely took it up the ass on gameplay. I feel like no matter who I play as, my hits barely connect. That is, unless I play as Carla. She's basically a mixture of Sub-Zero and figure skater Nancy Kerrigan. With her, I can pretty much fuck up everyone in the game. Even the boss characters are pretty easy, and let me tell you about the bosses. Before you fight the main guy, Colden, you have to fight his 3 mutant warriors. First is Rhina, a rhino woman who moves super fast. She's pretty easy. In fact, sometimes she won't do shit and just stands there. Second, you fight DK. Get it, like DK, because he's a zombie? I'm pretty sure he's just one of the guys at the Data East pinball office in a Party City zombie costume. And last, there's Prism, a crystal skeleton guy who dies in 4 hits. Seriously, you just jump kick him 4 times and he explodes. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it is what it is. Colden is just a cheap final boss. If he wins, he stabs you with his Freddy Krueger glove. But if Carla wins, he explodes spectacularly and she goes to Disneyland. I like how they just photoshopped some Mickey Mouse ears on the only picture they had of her. So there's Tattoo Assassins. Sadly, Data East Pinball's no more, but I think they'd be proud to know that their game that never got to see a wide release ended up gaining a bit of a cult following years later. So this brings me to our last game, and for this one we're taking a detour away from the arcades and digging out the old 3DO. And this one also happens to be one of the worst fighting games I've ever played, Shadow War Succession. Now, before I show you this, I need you to keep in mind, this is a real game. This was released on home consoles. The first thing you get is this cutscene of a helicopter flying past the Statue of Liberty, which is piss yellow for some reason. And how'd they screw that up? Because the helicopter's green. So it's not like they couldn't make it the right color. Also, listen to that music. This was on the 3DO, a CD-based console, and the music sounds like it was made by someone fucking a Casio. So then the helicopter flies up to a building where a terrible 3D model is standing and begins to shoot into it at 1 frame per second. Turns out this was a hit on Kincaid Storm, a billionaire and leader of the evil organization SHADOW, Shadow, which stands for Syndicate of Hate, Anarchy, Destruction, and Organized Warfare. But it should stand for Shitty Heap of Ass Doused in Orangutan Whiz. Good lord, look at that select screen. Look at those characters. Anvil, Carlos, or is it Carlo 3? I mean, holy shit, I know I called the characters in Time Killers and Tattoo Assassins generic, but for fuck's sake, this game changes the meaning. I don't even think generic covers it. Alright, let's see, this game is a bitch to play and it sucks. There should be a new, stronger word for shitty games like these, like a bitch sucky or suck bitch. This game's a suck bitch. So, surprise, Shadow War Succession has absolutely no redeeming factors. The control is basically non-existent. You could throw the controller across the room and piss on it and get the same result as actually trying to play it normally. The sound is an auditory anus fisting. Also, the voice acting is hilarious.
I will be the next Shadow King!
Prepare to eat lead, baby! Go to hell! Underneath all that garbage, you're just like all the street punks I've wasted before!
I think the best part, though, is the fact they forgot the fatalities. They forgot the fatalities. The game prompts you to finish your opponent, but they never actually program the fatalities. I'd rather play Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo than this any day. I'd rather play the Genesis version with the 3-button controller. I'd rather play the Game Boy version or even the Tiger games instead of this. How do you rip off Mortal Kombat but fail so hard you forget to program fatalities in the game? Not like it'd help, the game itself is such a mess that nothing could possibly save it. The first time I played this game, I used 7 continues on the first character, Gabriella, and mind you, I was on the easiest difficulty. No matter what I did, I couldn't hit her. Then, when I tried everyone else, I finally chose Gabriella and realized that she seemed to be the only character that was actually programmed somewhat right. She's the only person I can actually win as. With everyone else, I get my ass stomped, especially Carlos, and he's holding a goddamn shotgun. So I struggled my way through the game only to get to the end and find out you can't fight the boss on easy mode, so I went through again. I was able to get to the end with all my continues intact, but then I got to the final boss. Apparently, he's the guy from the beginning who got shot by the helicopter, but now he's a cyborg or whatever. It doesn't matter, all you need to know is he puts every video game final boss to shame, even death from Time Killers. On top of the controls not working most of the time, he's cheap as fuck. He constantly spams projectiles, takes less damage than normal characters, and has a spin move that's the thing nightmares come from. Once he uses it, you're pretty much fucked, because then he just beats the ever-loving shit out of you in the corner. So here we go. I blew 8 continues and this is my last one. It's do or die. I've come this far and I can't bear the idea of playing this one more minute. And he destroys me. Game over. That's it. I lose. I get nothing. Good day, sir. But fuck that. I can't just go about my day and forget the horrors I witnessed on the 3DO. I just can't shake my need for satisfaction. I have to play through it to get closure. But this time, I know what to do. I almost had him the last time. This time, it'll be different. And after an hour of jumping around like a fucking idiot and listening to the same phrase over and over, I finally get back to that son of a bitch. And this time, I fucked his shit up on my first try. Hell yeah. Well, that's the ending. Can't say I expected much. You know, I had to beat it for my own peace of mind, but was it worth it? No, truthfully, I'd rather lick a cat's asshole. A cat's hole. Yeah, you know, if you have a black cat like mine, the brightest part on the cat is the asshole. It almost glows in the dark. When he runs down the basement, it looks like a white dot bouncing down the steps. Cat's hole. Looks like a broken off banana. But before I start elaborating further on cat's holes, I'd better come up with an ending. Unfortunately, I got nothing. So, I'll just have to rip off some previous AVGN episodes. Alright, it's about that time. Let's get into Taito Legends 1 and 2. But first, just a little something I want to address. With the Legend of Kage episode, I heard some people say that there was a technical problem with the game footage, that it just didn't look right or something. And that was right after I got done saying how the Nintoaster was going to look so good, so that's my bad. There were some breadcrumbs in it, that's all. Now it's perfect. This Nintoaster's been upgraded so good, it can now play PS2 games. Yeah! So now, let's play Taito Legends 1 and 2 and see what's so legendary about them. Taito Legends 1 and 2 were released in 2005 and 2006 respectively on the PS2, original Xbox, and PC. This was back during a time when every video game company collectively decided to put out arcade compilations. Capcom had one, Midway, Atari, Namco, SNK, you get the idea. It's weird that so many companies release these and almost at the same time. Now these compilations included some must-have titles, but it also came with a bunch of shit. It's like buying a discount candy bar where a quarter of the bar is chocolate, caramel, and peanuts, but the rest is dog shit. So the first one had 29 games, including Bubble Bobble, and about 90 different versions of Space Invaders. It also had a bunch of arcade artwork and interviews with the developers. Taito Legends 2 got rid of the extras, but packed it to the brim with games. So even if you've never heard of Taito, you sure as hell know what the fuck Space Invaders is. Not to mention, between the 2 discs, you're getting 68 games. That is some value of the motherfuckest. The story of Taito is kinda bizarre. They started out as a company that imported goods and made peanut and vodka vending machines. Could you imagine what a shit show it would be in the United States if we had vodka vending machines? People would be going crazy. They'd be all drunk in the streets, eating peanuts while playing Space Invaders. Eventually in the 70s, they got into entertainment products and moved to jukeboxes and, of course, arcade games. In 78, they made Space Invaders, arguably one of the biggest arcade releases of all time. It was actually blamed for a shortage of 100 yen coins in Japan, but apparently that's bullshit and the coin just wasn't produced as much in 78. Imagine that, a game being so popular it's blamed for a money shortage. Space Invaders was a big deal. I didn't know Space Invaders was a series. I thought it was one and done. But here, just on these 2 discs, there's 6 different Space Invaders games. Believe it or not, Space Invaders went on to have 3 sequels, continuing the story of a bunch of space crabs or whatever they are that slowly come down to the ground. Space Invaders Part 2 added color. Whoa, in color! Now you can shoot at slowly moving space crabs in about 4 different colors. When you shoot them all, you get a cutscene. It's pretty crude, but it's probably one of the first cutscenes to ever exist. I'll bet back in '79 that made someone shit their pants. Next came Return of the Invaders in '85. This is the first major graphical upgrade. This is a real next-generation Space Invaders with bright, colorful graphics and varied gameplay. You weren't just shooting the same patterns as the originals. Now, enemies swirled around and did all kinds of crazy ass shit. This game is fucking hard too. In '91, we got Majestic 12, Space Invaders Part 4. This is the one I find the most fun to play in the Space Invaders cinematic universe. They really improved on the gameplay, switching up enemy behavior in crazy ways, and the boss fights are challenging, and the gameplay doesn't get boring too quickly. And they also added power-ups like screen-clearing bombs, powerful lasers, and time stopping. Stopping time summons motherfucking Mothra for some reason. My favorite level is Cattle Mutilation, where you have to save cows from flying saucers. I like how they thank you when you save them. Overall, this is definitely a great entry and a lot of fun to play. After this came Space Invaders DX, a kind of enhanced version of the original. It starts with a weird text crawl. Space Invaders had a great vogue in 1978. This one has a couple different game modes, including the original and a parody game. The parody game is just Space Invaders with the sprites changed to characters from other Taito games. If you want a real parody game, get ready for Space Invaders 95, the Attack of the Lunar Loonies. This game is batshit insane, emphasis on shit, because literally, the character I'm playing as is a blue piece of shit. Seriously, 2 of the characters are named Toilet 1 and Toilet 2? I like Toilet 1 because he's apparently a Japanese-style toilet-type super weapon. How in the sweet name of shit could you not choose the Japanese-style toilet-type super weapon? This is the culmination of almost 20 years of Taito game development, blasting aliens as a talking blue shit coil. The graphics are super bright and colorful, but there's so much crap flying around the screen, figuratively and literally. Also, something I want to address before there's a million comments about it, Taito Legends 2 stretches the games to fit a 4:3 TV, but you can change this in the options menu, which would have been nice to know before I recorded pretty much all the fucking footage for this episode. And why they wouldn't make the original aspect ratio the default setting is beyond me. It is what it is. Taito felt that their games would be better received looking stretched to fuck, I guess. Other than Space Invaders, a lot of the earlier games featured on these compilations are either forgettable or total ass-blasting, shit-splattering diarrhea. There are a couple diamonds in the rough, but for some of these, we're just gonna rock it through like a turd traveling out your colon and into the bowl. Balloon Bomber is a game where you play as a cannon shooting at balloons with bombs tied to them. If the bombs land, they blow apart the floor and you can't roll there anymore. The more bombs that land, the more you're limited in how far you can move. It's fine, but it's like lame Space Invaders with a lame gimmick. I'd rather save my fake quarter. On to another balloon game. Crazy Balloon. Yeah, Crazy Balloon. You guide a crazy balloon through a maze. It's probably the best game I've ever played in my life. I swear to... No, I'm just kidding. This game is boring as fuck. Next. Colony 7, it's Missile Command, but shitty. I can't play this for more than a few minutes. That's it. Next, again. Phoenix is another Space Invaders-like game, but it has weird bird aliens. It kind of feels like Galaga, but it actually predates it by about a year. You play as a weird crawling ship and just shoot everything. The sound is awful. It's constant trilling and sirens all throughout. It gives me a headache. There's a boss fight, which is kind of cool, but the sound just makes me want to shut it the fuck off. Lunar Rescue. It's basically a mix of Lunar Lander and Space Invaders. This one's actually kind of fun. You land on platforms and avoid meteors going down, and then pick up a guy and fly up shooting through Space Invader-y type enemies. It's okay. So then there's Rime Ice, or however it's said. It's a futuristic Pac-Man. Instead of a yellow circle guy in a maze eating circles, you're a future car in a maze eating circles. You can grab power-ups to help get through the maze, and there's even boss fights. Also, every once in a while, you get a cutscene of this guy. I don't know what the fuck kind of drugs these game designers were on. If Rime Ice is a future Pac-Man, then the electric yo-yo is Pac-Man if he were a yo-yo. Taito were the experts at providing the perfect putrid platform for their game developers to piss their shit onto, like finding the right cat litter. I mean, you get the ideal texture, particle size, and natural herbal attractant, just so the cat can come in and say, this is a good place to piss and shit. But Jungle Hunt is a bona fide classic. I used to play this on the Atari all the time. The arcade is better graphically, but I like the Atari's music during the cannibal part better. Next we have Zookeeper. You run around bricking in animals and making sure they don't escape. The sounds in this game are hilarious. It's kind of weird that he bricks them in. I mean, that'd be a pretty shitty zoo. Yeah, imagine paying $20 to get into a zoo and then all the animals are behind brick walls. Like Roger Waters. I mean, there was the album, the Pink Floyd album, Animals. And then there was The Wall. Here's the most metal fucking game so far. Civalian or Civalian?
Civalian.
You control the Mecha Dragon, a robot motherfucking dragon in space blowing fire on everything. This game seems like it'd be amazing, but you die so easily. I mean, how in the hell do you make a game about a Mecha Dragon suck? That's a letdown. Plump Pop is another game that is kinda like another game, but with a twist. It's Breakout or Arkanoid, but instead of launching a ball at blocks, you're launching your child at flying saucers. It's a game about child endangerment in the name of saving the world from aliens? Imagine if the only way to save the world was to launch your only child into the fucking stratosphere and smash into UFOs! Oh my god, just for a medal of goddamn honor! Frontline. This game is basically the prelude to Akari Warriors, except even worse. I mean, holy shit is it bad. This might be the worst game in the entire collection. So, unlike Akari Warriors, here you play as a guy who's constantly unhinging all of his joints. His legs are all floppy and he can't hit shit with his gun. I'd rather brush my teeth with aardvark shit. That's ground up, digested dead ants all stuck in my teeth. Fuck this game. Wild Western is shitty too, but not as shitty as Frontline. But it's damn close. It's hard as fuck to hit anything, and it controls like ass. The best part of the game is the fucked up looking horse in the cutscene between levels, and it looks like it has Homer Simpson's mouth or something. The Fairyland Story is a pretty bizarre game. It's one of those games where you have to clear the screen to move on like in Bubble Bobble. But here, you play as a witch who turns enemies into cakes. After a few levels, she rides around on a goofy-ass wingless dragon. Also, in the later levels, there's crosses and shit in the background, and you have to fight the Pope. What in God's name is going on? Don Doko Don is another similar game. You're a gnome in Maryland. Not sure if they meant Maryland or Maryland or the state Maryland. You clear screens with the saddest attack ever. I mean, it's hard as shit to hit anything because your hammer has zero range. Yeah, I hate this game. Kiki Kai Kai is a weird one. It's almost like a shoot 'em up, but not. It's actually a prequel to the SNES game Pocky and Rocky. You play as a Japanese priestess whose family gets taken away on a boat or something, so you set out to save them. It's insanely hard and has no continues, so I didn't get very far. One thing, what is this snake? What is this snake here? What is this thing coming out of the shrine? What is this shit? Kicks, Super Kicks, and Volfied are all the same game, really. You draw lines and try to clear away parts of the level while avoiding enemies and stuff that fly around the screen. Chack and Pop is a game that has all the enemies from Bubble Bobble. I think it's kind of like a prequel or something. You play as some kind of thing named Mr. Chackin, and your hearts get stolen. So you navigate a maze to find and release them. The game plays like garbage. You drop bombs to attack, but they kind of just do whatever they fucking feel like. Sometimes the bomb goes in front of me, and sometimes behind me. But either way, I always end up dead. Yeah, I beat one level of this piss puddle and would rather punch myself in the nutsack than play another. I've talked about Bubble Bobble before, and you all know the gist of it, but here's the sequel, Rainbow Islands. I'd never guessed that this was a sequel to Bubble Bobble, but it says right there on the title screen, the story of Bubble Bobble 2. Well then what about Bubble Bobble 2 on Nintendo? Oh, we'll get into that some other time. You play as a chubby kid in a lederhosen with the magical ability to throw rainbows. What's kind of cool is you could even use them to walk up to higher platforms. I mean, it's a pretty competent platformer game, but it scrolls upwards instead of sideways. So even though it feels very different than Bubble Bobble, I gotta say, it's pretty fun. Another game related to Bubble Bobble is Bust a Move Again. Later on, the Bubble Bobble Dragons would even show up in the series. This is one of the most addicting games in the compilation. Each level's background moves forward in time. You have the Big Bang or something, a caveman, and Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that thing? Oh, fuck this game. I never want to see it again. Taito did some puzzle games well, and others not so well. Plotting is garbage fire. You throw blocks at other blocks. It has weird music and bland as hell graphics. And that's it. 2-Bit and Cleopatra Fortune, on the other hand, are pretty cool Tetris-like games and are really easy to sink some time into, especially 2-Bit. You know, this is a good game. I should play it some more, but I got too many shitty games to get to. Poochie Carrot is a weird one. Who would have thought with a name like that? It's like Breakout, but this time you have to knock down jewels. If you miss, the jewels get lower. I died right away, then got super lucky and fucked up the computer player. But those characters in the background are so annoying. They jump around and yell and do a bunch of weird anime shit. It's super distracting and makes the action hard to follow. But even weirder is Camel Try. Why is it called Camel Try? Well, because there's a camel in the logo. Why is there a camel in the logo? I have no idea, because there's 0 camels anywhere in the game. It's all about navigating a marble through a rotating maze. Maybe it's meant for camels to try? Oh, can camel try? Can camel try? Camel try? Taito also made some pretty decent shooting games like Battle Shark. In the arcade, the machine actually had you looking through a periscope and firing at things. But on the TV, it's very plain. You shoot torpedoes at other subs. I mean, it's okay.
Let's get to work, Battle Shark!
Space Gun is an alien-inspired shooter. It's really bloody, too. Alien chunks splatter on the screen, and they explode in spectacular fashion. There's people you can save, but I accidentally shoot them. They run at you while you're in the middle of a firefight, so it's their own damn fault. Fucking idiots. There's a game here called Operation Wolf, where every time you fire the gun, the screen flashes in a way that's so horrible, it could possibly cause seizures. I'm not joking around, and for that reason, I'm not going to show it. So this makes it a rare instance where the game is actually so bad that I can't show it for safety and health reasons. Luckily, the sequel, Operation Thunderbolt, gets rid of the flashing and is a lot more fun. The action is pretty intense. You play as a Green Beret fighting terrorists and saving hostages. They're as dumb as the ones in Space Gun and just run at you while you're firing. You destroy everything: terrorists, tanks, jeeps, boats, fighter jets, and with nothing but an Uzi. I mean, damn, that fucking Uzi is a weapon of mass destruction. Nukes would look at that Uzi and say, nah man, fuck this, I'm out of here. I like how the terrorists drive tanks through the hallways of their office buildings. How do they get in and out? At the end, you have to save the pilot. I think you can accidentally kill him, but I was too good and wasted the leader and flew the hostages home. All in a day's work for the Green Beret guy and his magical Super Uzi. So now from light gun shooters to shoot 'em ups, Taito had a lot of really good ones, but one that sucks crocodile cock is Tokyo, which could be a typo because it takes place in Tokyo. It's slow, boring, and when you die, you have to wait for the game to reset. And there's no continue, so if you die, that's it. The projectiles are practically invisible, so I die constantly. You can get power-ups, but they can actually be shot down. Just skip this one. Gun Frontier is another weird one. It's a Wild West space shooter. Your ship is a big gun with wings, and the bosses are giant revolvers. It has the same problem as Tokyo, though. When you die, it sends you back. I got stuck at this mini-boss for a while. It's not a bad game, but fuck it anyway. Gekurinden, Grid Seeker, and Metal Black are all 3 very generic shooters with different gimmicks. Honestly, I have trouble remembering which is which. Metal Black has a bunch of blobby things that power your laser, or give you a super powerful beam that kills everything. Gekurinden has space helicopters. Yeah, space helicopters! Also, you go back in time and fight old-timey planes with super space planes. Yeah, imagine being in the 1940s during World War II and a fucking space helicopter comes out of nowhere and obliterates your whole squad. Grid Seeker tells the story of the Second Persian Gulf War that happened in the distant future of 1999. So it's sorta like they kinda almost predicted the Iraq War. Although, the big difference, there was no giant fucking octopus tank. Raystorm is a mediocre 3D shooter. It looks awesome, but it plays like the rest. Taito also included Darius Gaiden and G Darius, which are pretty popular shoot-'em-ups. They're fine, I guess. They play mostly like R-Type or Gradius. G Darius is in 3D and has an attack that lets you take possession of enemy ships to use as weapons. They're pretty cool games, but what I don't understand is why the fuck all the bosses are giant fish robots. It's the strangest theme I've ever seen in a shooter like this. They all have weird-ass names like Ancient Dozer and Prickly Angler. I think I asked this earlier, but what were they smoking? The best Taito Legends shooter I played has to be Exixius. Exixius? This game is a blast to play. You play as a flying dude who can turn into a ship. The difficulty is fair, so you know what? This is another one I thought would be ass, but I'm gonna have to give it a pass. Of course, this being Taito, there has to be a cutesy shooter. And here you have Insector X. You're a cute character shooting cute bugs in cute levels. That being said, this game is not easy. It's one of the hardest shooters of the whole collection. I died over and over again, and eventually had to just move on because I have so many other games to get to. So it may look cute, but it's a fucking asshole in disguise. From cutesy shooters to cutesy platformers, we got the New Zealand story. This is another one on the I don't know pile. Why is it the New Zealand story? Is this how New Zealand was discovered? When a walrus kidnapped a bunch of kiwi birds, one of which was smoking a cigarette? Please, if you're watching this in New Zealand, what is it that I don't know? Am I missing something here? Do kiwis shoot bows and arrows and fly around on geese? Do they fight giant frozen whales? And when they die, do they go to heaven like in this game? Please, let me know. Next is Liquid Kids. Liquid Kids? What the hell? Feels kind of like a sequel to New Zealand story, but now you play as this thing named Hippo. I guess it's a hippo? And you throw water balloons at stuff. It's another batshit drug-fueled acid trip, but you should be used to that by now. I kinda am. Bond's Adventure. In Japan, this game is called Hell Tour. Trust me, just wait. This game is fucked up. It may look like a fun, cute game, but this shit gets dark. The game starts off like every other Taito game. It's difficult but fun, and you go through the levels, fight monsters and platforming, and then you reach it. The Bloody Pond, a level that has absolutely no place in this game, or any game. There's no music, just the sound of a blood pond sloshing around. Decaying limbs stick out of the blood and eyeballs bounce you around. This menacing fish thing follows you as you desperately seek the exit and end this nightmare. By the way, this game was made by Kenji Kaito, the guy who produced Tomba, Ape Escape, and Shadow the Colossus. Wow, he's fucked up. Now to lighten the mood, who likes some sports? Hopefully you do, because Taito has sports titles. Full disclosure, they all suck. But we're doing them all, so sit tight. Alpine Ski? More like Alpine Pee. Seriously, this game is ass and a half. If I could, I'd throw this game across the street into my neighbor's yard so they could be like, what the fuck is this? And then throw it away from me, because I'm not soiling my trash can with it. Continental Circus is pretty much like Pole Position, with better graphics and horrific explosions. Well, that driver is DED dead. Hat Trick Hero is a shitty soccer game, but it does let you play as Guile on the USA team. Nah, just kidding. But why do Japanese people think Americans have that triangle-ass hairstyle? Yeah, so this is another boring one, and oh look, I scored a goal. Good, I'll turn it off now. The only sports title worth a shit is Great Swordsman. It's a fencing game that's pretty fun. You can attack high, medium, and low, and just try to jab your opponent. Sometimes you can even knock off their helmet. What is going on here? Do the judges all look like Adolf Hitler? Oh my gosh, what the fuck? The second level is Kendo, but I sucked at it and died. That brings us to the next game, which plays like a pseudo-sequel to Great Swordsman, Gladiator. You walk automatically through a dungeon, avoiding bats and fire. Eventually, you reach an enemy, and the game goes into a one-on-one fight. The point is to knock their armor off and strike the exposed part. If you win, you move on to the next one. If you lose, the guy does an awkward jig over your corpse. You fight a woman at one point who laughs and celebrates when she knocks all your clothes off. I couldn't beat the boss. He's some guy who blows fire. I don't know. Fuck it. Next game. Thunder fucking Fox, you're a shirtless badass running into enemy lines, stabbing the ever-loving shit out of anyone stupid enough to fuck with you. This game's pretty awesome. You can get into vehicles and pick up a bunch of weapons like grenades, handguns, flamethrowers, and missile launchers. Level 2 starts off like a side-scrolling shooter as you make your way to a flying battleship. Then when you reach the ship, you get to mow down enemies in the sky. This one's also a lot of fun. Also, I love when you get sucked out the doors of the ship. It's hilarious. Whoa, look at him go! Next, we have The Legend of Kage. Oh, no. It already got its own episode. That greedy son of a bitch can go suck a shit out of an orangutan ass. Next is Rastan. You're a Conan-type barbarian laying waste to a whole bunch of enemies. Bats, lizard people, four-armed skeleton guys, all shall fall to the might of Rastan. It's fun, but it's hard, especially in level 2. If you die, you get sent back to the beginning, which is brutal. The sequel is Nastar, which is Rastan spelled backward. Wait, no, it isn't. It's just Rastan scrambled up. I mean, what kind of gimmick is that? It would be like making a sequel to Mario Brothers and calling it Maroi Brothers. Anyway, this game's kind of lame compared to Rastan. It has cutscenes, but good luck reading dark blue text on a black background. Even when you can read it, it makes no sense. I have opened a fire? Huh? The best part of this game is when he jumps in the air and thrusts the sword downward, it looks like he's sawing his dick off. He is sawing his dick off! So the sequel to Rastan was lame, but one sequel that blows its original away is Elevator Action Returns. The original Elevator Action is a decent old-school arcade game. You play as a secret agent moving through a building, collecting intel, moving down elevators, and fighting off enemies. You make it to your car and then speed off. Elevator Action Returns takes that concept and ramps it to 11. This game is awesome, with expansive levels that sprawl and change as you move through them, and tons of enemies to fight and different weapons to collect. You also get to play as 3 different characters, Cart Bradfield, Eddie Burritt, and Jad the Taff? Jad the Taff? I mean, what does that mean? He's the Taff? So of course I become the Taff and blast everyone to hell. I love this airport level where you just crash a helicopter and come out shooting. Talk about making an entrance. Also, this transition between the exterior and interior of the plane is really neat. This game is mindless, but I love it and I play the shit out of it. Next on the list we have Curry Kinton. It's another weird one. You're a karate guy who rides in on a moped, shoots Hadoukens, and can meditate to make a shield. It looks neat, but it's super repetitive. Well, we're getting down to the wire now. Only a few games left, but don't worry, I saved the most Taito games for last. Taito's beat-em-ups are insane. Fuck games like Streets of Rage and Final Fight. They're not quirky and fucked up enough for a guy like me anymore. Taito has shown me the way. First, the Ninja Kids. Imagine the TMNT arcade game, but replace the Ninja Turtles with Sesame Street puppets who cut people in half and fight motherfucking Satan, and you have the Ninja Kids. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The Satan. It has some interesting shit. I especially like the boss fight against the werewolf. The moon acts as the enemy's life bar, which is a neat touch. Dungeon Magic is pretty neat too. It's a fantasy-themed beat-em-up with branching paths and a ton of items and weapons to collect. It's at an isometric view, which gets kind of annoying when you're trying to hit enemies at an angle. Arabian Magic kind of reminds me of Golden Axe if all the characters just shit their pants and were walking around with anus gravy caked in their cracks. You can unleash a genie to attack enemies and even get new ones from bosses you beat. It's your average arcade beat-em-up. Growl, however, is anything but average. How so? Well, you play as Hulk Hogan and Indiana Jones! This game is Taito as fuck. It takes place in the early 20th century, but has a ton of weapons that weren't invented until the late 20th century. The mission is to save animals from an army of evil shitbag poachers. What's actually cool is that there aren't many level breaks. Other than a lava cave you go into, all the levels are part of a long-ass background that scrolls. Every time you put a coin in the game, it goes, "Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, come on!" I enter coins just to hear this. It sounds great. After you lay waste to hundreds of animal-hating fuckfaces, you face the evil king of the poachers, who turns out to be a giant alien worm. See? I told you this game was Taito as fuck! You kill him, and all the animals come to hang out. This game is hilarious, weird, good fun. And that's kind of what I'm here for now. If it wasn't weird, I'd be pissed. Okay, so here we go. Here it comes. This is by far, without a doubt, the Taitoist of all Taito titles on Taito Legends. It is Violence Fight. From the very beginning, this game has already given me more material to talk about in just this text wall than any game ever could. In the early part of the 1950s in the USA, a game called Violence Fight was in vogue among mafia, reckless drivers, and general businessmen. The Violence Fight was the game to struggle for, #1 quarreler with fighters who were gathered from all parts of the USA, speaking boastingly of their strength. And of course, a lot of winning money as well, as the honor were given to the winner. Here in a downtown in LA, a young fighter Bat and his manager Blinks seek for the winning money eagerly. As a matter of fact, can Bad take the #1 place in the USA? Wait, they spelled his name 2 different ways? Is it Bad or Bat? Yeah, here you go. His name is Bat Blue. Like Labatt Blue? Maybe he's a Canadian beer fan. Wait, no, it's Bad Blue on the character select. Make up your mind. He's the main character. You can't decide what his name is? Lick Joe? Lick Joe! His name is Lick Joe! I'm sorry, Bad Blue or Bat Blue or Labatt Blue. I'm going to have to pick Lick Joe. Okay, let's get into the game. Okay, I'm sorry. Lick Joe. Lick Joe! Hey, everybody. Who wants to lick Joe? Oh, fuck names like Ryu and Ken, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Lick motherfucking Joe! Alright, that's the best name I ever heard. So anyway, according to his bio, he killed 13 wrestlers during playing. What kind of wrestling promotion lets a guy wrestle after killing 13 wrestlers? Why is he not in jail? Instead, he's allowed to be in the Violence Fight? Well, I mean, it is the Violence Fight. Oh my god, it controls like ass. It's kind of like an even shittier version of Pit Fighter. But you know what? It's got Lick Joe, and that more than makes up for it. Between matches, you get this awful art of the character and their manager. It's kind of like the taunting screens in Street Fighter. But in Violence Fight, it's fucked to shit. Sammy you? What is that supposed to mean? Sammy you? Sammy you? Is it trying to say that Sammy is you? Or it's just saying Sammy to you? Like fuck you. Oh, I've been wasting my time with curse words like shit, fuck, and ass and bitch. But Taito comes along into my life and shows me the real way. The real Mac Daddy of curse words. No, instead of fuck you, I'm saying Sammy you. Hey, Sammy you salmon mother Sammier! Every time you hit an enemy, these weird words show up like Dagoon and Bogun and Goon. Is it like the sound the hits make? Like an onomatopoeia, which is a weird word in itself? But anyway, what the fuck sound is Dagoon? Imagine if you were watching the 60s Batman, and every time someone gets hit, instead of saying bam, pow, or biff, it said Dagoon, Bogon, and Goon. Seriously, I can't praise this game enough. It's comedic genius. I mean, you could have the funniest comedians of all time write for years and never come close to the perfection that is Violence Fight. Why are you fighting a tiger? What the fuck is score a point over? Why are the Twin Towers in the background of 1950s Los Angeles? Violence Fight. That's fucking why. The first rule of Violence Fight is you talk about Violence Fight. Fuck Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or any of these other fighting games on next-gen consoles. No! I want fucking Violence Fight!